Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Thomas Paine, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Sam Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin, Benjamin Franklin. These men spoke up for what they thought was right. From their courage came such documents as the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States. From their willingness to speak what was sometimes unpopular but right, we enjoy such liberties as freedom of speech, the right to keep and bear arms, and freedom of religion. There are those who still wish to oppress our freedoms, and there are still patriots willing to stand up and defend life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Men like Zeb Bell, who honor our founding fathers and what they stood for. It's now time for Zeb at the Ranch, speaking up and defending your freedoms. Brought to you by Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers and all of the other great advertisers on the program. And now, Zeb Bell.
Oh, good morning. I just talked to you on the telephone. How could you be here?
I was coming through the canyon.
Oh, my goodness sakes. Dave and Don Zanino are here with a great big cake, and it happens to be one of my very favorites. Ay, ay, ay. Thank you. I'll get with that in just a moment. It's my birthday, and they're celebrating my birthday. My goodness. Words of wisdom this morning. We should all live so that the preacher at our funeral doesn't have to lie. Good morning, everybody. Here comes Kate Smith, and God bless America, followed by a patriot with our Pledge of Allegiance. Good morning, good morning. How nice. Oh, my goodness sakes, good morning. Kate Smith, God bless America. And I'm Zeb Bell at Zeb at the Ranch with our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you. And, of course, don't forget some of our great advertisers that include Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland and Burley, and our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. All right, now, lovely lady controlling everything, the universe. Push a button and she can launch rockets. Well, wait a minute. Push a button and the computer goes awry.
That's more like it.
Good morning.
Good morning, sunshine, and happy birthday to you.
Oh, Gina, thank you very much. Thank you. You're talking to an old curmudgeon.
What is it, the anniversary of your 59th?
Are you kidding me? That's very sweet of you.
Well, hey, we've always got to have anniversaries.
No, as a matter of fact, if you were going to take a pistol and make notches on the handle, you wouldn't have enough wood left on the handle over that number you just cited.
Well, that means that we just need to get a bigger handle.
Well, I'll tell you what, some lovely friends of ours just came in, Dave and Don Zanino, and with a German chocolate cake.
Oh.
Yes.
That's my favorite.
And of course, I'm on a diet, but today I'm taking a respite from the diet.
As you should, and I expect that you are going to have a big old fat ribeye tonight for dinner.
Have you been talking to Deanne?
No, but I know you well enough to know.
You do, and I'll tell you, you're spot on, kiddo.
Hey!
Do we have a pledger?
We have Mr. Jerry Voss on for the pledge and Michael Rogers on for the weapon.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much. Jerry, go ahead with the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Jerry, you did a very nice job on that, and thank you very much.
And you have a wonderful, happy, great, gracious birthday. And if I'm not wrong, this is number 66.
No, you are wrong. You're too low.
I am too low? You mean you're 67?
67. That'll stop cars on the interstate, won't it?
Well, they're probably driving that fast.
Okay. I got to run, Jerry. God bless you. Thanks so much. I appreciate
You
it.
have a wonderful day, and may the Lord bless.
Oh, he already has. Thank you, with great friends like yourself. Hey, we got to get to the weather real quick as everybody is going. Gina's going, I didn't know he was that old. For heaven's sakes, he's an antique. Anyway, Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Look for the blue door and stop in and check out all the Halloween decorations, all the Christmas decorations. They've got a shipment of repurposed dressers there. Oh, my goodness, they're really good at repurposed furniture. Check it out today at Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley, 678-6945. And right now, here is Michael Rogers' weather.
Sunny, high 71, should see 75 as you work your way toward the weekend, but you're done with all the yucky weather now, so you're going to see a lot of sun and very little clouds all the way through the weekend. Enjoy the weather, see on the weather you got. Zeb, happy birthday. Always remember, the older the violin, the sweeter the music.
Well, let's just say I'm a one-man band. Thank you, Michael. God bless you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. And Michael Rogers Weather, the best weatherman in the universe, brought to you by Cheney Flooring and Home Design, 1228 Oakley Avenue in Burley. Let's sell some cattle right now.
Hold on, I was getting the birthday song queued up for you instead.
Oh, that's all right, because, you know, the longer you take over there, the more I get a chance to have a piece of German chocolate cake.
Well, in that case, here we go with Merv.
Okay.
All right, you get set of steer calves there, here to get $1.31.
That's Merv May at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard, 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Number to call, 678-9411. Big sale today. Boy, I talked to Merv. They got a whole ripping good list of consignments, and the sale starts at 10:30 this morning. Once again, call the office at 678-9411. They've got cattle coming in from the Cottle Ranch up at Malda, 60 head of calves. Kuno Ranch bringing 120 head of calves out of Albion. These are good cattle. The Dun Angus Ranch up at Tetonia, semi-load of mixed cattle. Wes Goff, how you doing, Wes? And Rosa, for Pete's sakes, how are you? It's so nice to hear that you're going to be taking some cattle to the sale. 35 head of 550-pound heifers. Aramo Ranch over at Naff, load of butcher cows coming in. Bill Polton up at Willow Creek's bringing in a trailer load of calves. Tim and Barry Whiting over to Rupert. Really nice folks. 75 head of 600-pound wean calves. Oak Valley Dairies bringing in 100 head of cows. And Moon Mountain Dairy, East Ridge Dairy, and South Ridge Dairy. All of them bringing in butcher cows. Holy cow, great trailer line run. They are going to start the sale no later than 10:30. Better be there early. It's going to be a ripping good sale. Merv May, Lance, UDK, everybody down there at the Burley Livestock Sale Yard. 678-9411. They're located at 1100 Occidental Avenue in Burley. Merv, sell those steers.
All right, you get set of steer calves there, here to get $1.31, 1.5, 31, going out, 32, 2.5, 3.5, 134, 4.5, 5.5, 130, 550, 135, and I selling $1.35. Zeb Bell, get bottom again.
I'll tell you what, I'll take that as a bottom price anytime. As I've said, hey, don't forget Scott Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service, 336 South, 450 West of Paul, and you better get your sprinkler systems all blown out. If you've got a sprinkler system and you let it freeze up, you're going to have a heap of trouble there come spring. So check it out today. Let them get on the list and take care of you at Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service, and the number 438-2485. Really good folks, and prune those trees too. All the fruit trees, ornamentals, shade trees, everything, they can take care of it at Gano Landscaping and Sprinkler Service. We got a call, and then we've got a very, very dear friend here in the studio. One of these minutes, I'm going to get a chance at biting this cake, I'll tell you for sure. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Zeb, it's Doug Johnson. I had to call and say happy birthday.
Wow, all the way from Colorado, as Festus used to say.
It's a chilly morning in Colorado, but there's warm birthday greetings from my dear friend Zeb.
You know, Doug, it is just absolutely a treat to hear from you this morning, and, it's going to be a nice weekend weather-wise over there in Colorado and also here in southern Idaho, but you've made my birthday special. Thanks so much for calling in.
Well, thank you, Zeb. Thanks for your friendship, and I just wish you the best birthday ever, and hope you have a great day.
I will, sir, and God bless you, Doug, and I mean that with every concern I have. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Doug Johnson from Colorado calling in this morning. Thank you with birthday wishes. And Gina in the background with the happy birthday song. I do appreciate that. Ah, yeah, crank it up. I love this.
And apparently the party's at your house, so I'll be over there right as soon as we're done with the show, Zeb.
You know, I was just thinking, and I mean this not to be rude, because it's very rude to eat on the air, on television or radio. But I got to say this.
As you're eating.
I have a mouth full of German chocolate cake, and Don Zanino, God bless you, my child. There's a place in heaven for this lady. I'll tell you what, she'll never get past the pearly gates. St. Peter's going to mug her for the cake. Man, this is good.
I'm jealous. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you very much. And everybody out there, I know that it's going to be kind of a disrupted hour, but thank you very much. Dave, sit down for a second. I'll put you on the air. We'll talk about cattle and livestock and roping and cake and everything else. That is good. I got to tell everybody about Ramsey Heating and Electric. I ought to let you do the commercials, for heaven's sakes. Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 678-0459. And don't forget, hats off to farmers. They really pay tribute to the farmers, knowing that they're the bread and butter of our whole state's economy, and we appreciate them. They do, too. You stop in and see Ramsey Heating and Electric for all your rubber cord ends, fuses, everything you need. Call ahead, 678-0459. Ramsey Heating and Electric, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Hey, real quick, I also want to mention Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. I got to swallow. That cake is really good. Winter gloves are in, and they've got all the area boots for men and women. And don't forget, too, they've got all the pellets for your pellet stove right there for you. Always with the best of service and the nicest of people at Valley White Home and Ranch, 910 South Oneida in Rupert. Caller, you are on the air. Good morning.
Zum Geburtstag zu dir, zum Geburtstag zu dir, zum Geburtstag, liebe Seb, zum Geburtstag zu dir.
Now,
I would do it in German with your cake.
That was absolutely phenomenal. You are a man of many talents, Mr. Ramsey. Now, say that again real slow. How do you say happy birthday in German?
Zum Geburtstag. Geburtstag means birthday.
Well, thank you very much. And you should see this cake. This is a great big German chocolate cake, and it's got the rich, creamy frosting on top. Oh, it's good, Keith, I'll tell you.
I can see it in about 20 minutes.
Yeah. 20 minutes at 65 miles an hour.
Exactly.
Hey, God
Happy
bless
birthday.
you. Thank you so much.
You
Thank
bet.
you. Dave Zanino, man, I just get that microphone and hold it real close like you're kissing Dawn or something, real close. How come I called you and you didn't even let me know you were halfway here, more than halfway?
I'm a good liar. I got a good poker face.
Yes, you do. Thank you very much.
Anything for a buddy.
Yeah, I tell you what, you folks are phenomenal, and I'm surprised you don't look like I do, as fat as I am with this German chocolate cake. This is delicious.
Oh, my wife makes me dessert all the time.
Talk for a minute. I took another bottle.
Oh, we got to let it don't choke. Because I'm not going to run this deal if you go down.
This is such good cake. You know, it's terrible to have to sit here and talk and not pay attention to the cake.
Well, you got to eat.
What do you know, my friend?
It's a great day.
In the neighborhood.
It's a great day in Idaho. We got sunshine and a little frost. The desert's green. The cows are happy.
The cows are happy. By the way,
happy.
Doing any roping?
Oh, a little bit, but it's been kind of cold and everybody's give up.
Get a little closer to that. Yeah, you know, it's that time of the year where they're thinking about hunting. A lot of high school football games going on and everything. Not much other activity is permitted, I guess.
Well, we're going to try to rope Sunday afternoon if they're with you, and
good.
I got to keep practiced up.
Attaboy. Make the World Series?
No.
Didn't make it,
Don't
huh?
rope well enough.
Oh, yes.
No
you do.
luck.
Yes, you do. It's those darned healers that'll starve you to death.
I can't say anything because my son was my last one.
Uh-oh, look out.
You got to
look
be
out.
careful.
Hey, we got a caller. Dave, stay with us. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
I don't want to ever hear you hollering and complaining about your diet anymore.
Well, and a good morning to you too, sir.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
You're
Happy
just
birthday,
jealous.
Dear Zebber.
Oh.
Happy birthday to you.
Al,
you
old curmudgeon, you're one of my dearest friends. God bless you and thank you.
Catch up with me.
I don't want to go that fast, but I'll tell you one thing. You and Polly are near and dear to us, and thank you for all your kind comments this morning. I appreciate it.
Well, there's more coming.
As long as you don't sing, that's great.
Well, thanks a lot. Enjoy.
No, you did. Al, great job. Thank you so much. God bless you. I tell you what, I didn't say anything about this birthday, and then all of a sudden, I think my wife had something to do with this. Denny's Restaurant. Oh, maybe we can talk Dawn into cooking and baking this German chocolate cake for Denny's, too. Man alive, that'd be really, really good over there. Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley, and someone you know is hungry right now, so why don't you stop in and buy him a gift card? Oh, what a great gift to give. Along with, if the seniors stop in, they got special menus for seniors and discounts. You're going to love the food, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner at Denny's Restaurant. Super service, and believe me, you're going to enjoy it and go back time and again. Denny's Restaurant, 611 Overland in Burley. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
I want to call and wish my old buddy, I say old, and dear friend, a happy birthday.
Oh, Fred, God bless you, man. You know, I always think of you when I look at my fishing rod and reel out in the barn, and I say to myself, I never had so much fun. I never caught so many fish. Under your tutelage, it was fun.
Well, I wish we had went more, because anymore I'm going to have help if I go fishing.
Well, I'll tell you what, you taught me a lot about fishing that I never knew before, because, man, normally I throw the lure in the water and I just sit there for 3 hours, get disgusted, and go home. But with you teaching me, it helped a lot.
We had a lot of fun.
Yes, we did.
I know you and Deanne enjoyed it, and Joyce and I really enjoyed it, so that's what counts.
Oh, Fred, God bless you, and thanks for your kind thoughts this morning.
You bet.
Thank you, sir. That man is one of my dearest friends, Fred Preston. You know Fred, don't you? Over there at Declo. I'll tell you what, just a super, super nice guy. Caller, I'll be right with you. Stand by. I want to remind everybody at Snyder's Surplus, it's not just army and hunting supplies. No. They've got everything over there. They've even got Halloween decorations and costumes. What are you going to dress up as, Dave? Have you made your mind up yet?
Oh, it'll either be Zorro, a pirate.
You as a pirate?
Or a nun.
You know, I think back in the old days, like in the 1600s, if you jumped onto my ship, I'm swimming to shore. I'll tell you that.
I couldn't be a pirate. I don't swim.
Oh, okay.
I'd be a drowner.
A drowned pirate. Oh, Snyder Surplus. Don't forget they've got everything over there. And they've got combat boots. They've got new shipment of pistols in. They got 22 long rifles. They've got everything for you. And all you have to do is stop into their new store. Excuse me. That's what happens when you eat on the air. 112 South, 200 West of Rupert, Snyder's Surplus. And nice folks serving you at Snyder's. Stop over and see them today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb.
Yes, good morning. Who's this?
This is Mary Scott.
Well, Mary Scott, how are you?
I am doing very well, but I want to wish you a very happy birthday from both myself and Joe Taylor.
You know, Mary, that means a lot, and I owe you a big apology because I'm old, you know, and I forgot to call you on Monday to put you on the air for the Golden Heritage.
We did that once already.
Yeah, but we were going to do it again, remember?
Oh, well, then I'm older than you, so you have to excuse me.
Not a problem. Listen, would you please do me a favor and say thank you to Joe and everybody else for the kind wishes?
I certainly will, and I wish you many more birthdays.
I thank you so much. God bless you, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Okay, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Mary, thank you so much.
Bye.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning, old buddy. How are you?
Everybody comes up with the same opening with the word old. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it.
No, but I want you to know something. I want you to have a happy birthday, but I want to remind you of something.
Oh, what's that?
That will make you happy.
Okay.
Compared to the giant redwood tree, you're not that old.
Now, that's a nice comparison. Compared to a giant redwood tree, I'm not that old. You know what? I have been blessed with the nicest of friends and everything else going on in this area. I'm just tickled to death. And 67 isn't that old. I've still got a fire brewing in the furnace. There's a little snow on the roof, but that's okay.
Well, I'm only 7 years ahead of you, so you got something to look forward to.
Well, you and Nancy are dear friends, and God bless you, and thanks so much for your wishes this morning, Keith. I appreciate it. Thanks.
I think I might mention that a lot of people knew Dennis Curtis.
Yes.
He passed away yesterday morning.
I was going to comment on that, and a lot of people don't know this, but back in the 70s, I bought grain for Curtis Company that Denny owned, and I worked with Denny for about 3 years, as a matter of fact. And
really?
Yes, I did. And I used to drive down there at his location south of Burley at 400 South, and knew Denny very well. And a lot of people looked at him like kind of a crusty old curmudgeon, but he had a heart as big as Texas. And I just absolutely...
You really got to know Denny. I graduated from high school with Denny.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he's old like I am, but he's had a lot of health problems.
Yes.
I hope he's in a place where he can rest.
No, I do too.
And,
I do too.
I want to tell Janice, if she's listening, that, we're so sorry of her loss, but it's a blessing in disguise.
I appreciate your comments, Keith. Thank you very much. And you just opened the door for me to come in and say that this morning about Denny, and I thank you. God bless you and your wife. Thank you for all you do.
You bet.
Thank you, sir. Did we have another call? Gina, I don't want to miss anything. Did we have another call come in?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I'll take that caller real quick, and then I'm going to take, honestly, another bite of this cake as soon as I can. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Well, happy birthday, Mr. Bell. How are you?
Well, hello there. How are you this morning?
I'm just peachy.
Well, I seem to have talked to your husband a little earlier. He finally got out of bed.
Oh, no, I was up way before him.
Oh, really? I see.
As always. Yeah, I'm always the first one up.
Well, I'll tell you, thank you. And on behalf of Deanna and I, you know you and George are special because of all the things you do to help us throughout the year right here on the radio. And thank you for your nice wishes this morning. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. You and Deanna are very special to us, too. I just wanted to comment on Denny Curtis.
Yes.
What a beautiful man. If you could get past the gruff exterior, he's just a big teddy bear. I had the pleasure of working with him for several years over here at the Elks with the Thanksgiving dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So much fun.
I totally agree with you. A lot of people, they had the wrong perception of Denny all the way, and I had a chance to work with him for many years, so I do appreciate your comments, and we just say God's blessings to the family this morning.
You betcha, and let's pray for his family that they find peace and closure, and it must be a terrible loss for them.
Absolutely.
Anyway, you have a great day, my friend, and happy birthday.
Thanks, Donna. We appreciate it. God bless. Thank you. Don't forget our friends at Berry Equipment and Rental. They've got all your aerial lifts. They've got everything over there, including all the equipment you need. Coyote tractors. They've got rows and rows of them. And, of course, the Doosan loaders and great selection of everything for the equipment that you want to buy and or lease. And great financing, too, and excellent people to work with at Berry Equipment and Rental. They've got 3 locations in Twin Falls, Jerome, and right there on Highway 30 in Burley. Stop in and see them today. Old Nick runs the location over there at Burley. Berry Equipment and Rental, they are waiting to serve you. Stop in and see them today. Right now, and this is selfish on my part, I'm going to play the Capital Press Ag Minute thanks to Gina and have some more cake. Good morning. I'll be back in a minute. Boy, this is good.
The Capital Press Ag Minute is brought to you by OnlyAg.com.
got to go to the desert this morning?
A dairy family in Kuna took members of the media on an extensive tour of its operation this week, answering dozens of questions and allowing photos and video photography to be shot. Liberty Ranch owner John Wynn Jr. told representatives of the 6 media organizations that he did nothing special for the visit to his 2,500 cow dairy. The media tour was sponsored by United Dairymen of Idaho. Wynn said he saw it as his responsibility to provide the media and their consumers a close-up view of a dairy operation. The industry wanted to host an event that would allow it to talk about the accountability and quality assurance standards it places on dairies and allow media members to ask questions. This is Hannah Browse.
To receive instant, exclusive, unlimited access to the West Agricultural News Source, register your account today at CapitalPress.com.
Thank you very much, CapitalPress.com. Hey, don't forget, big sale going on this Saturday at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds at 11 o'clock in the morning. Rogge Auctions community sale. They had one in the spring, and wow, was it a success, and they're having one this fall. You better believe it. Talked to Cade the other day. He said they're going to take consignments right up through tomorrow night, so call them. And the number, I have to swallow every now and then because the cake is so good. The number is 431-0074, or call Ron at 316-0318, or go to their website, RoggeAuctions.com. And don't forget that big sale Saturday at 11 o'clock at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds, Rogge Auctions community sale. Don't you miss it. Oh, my. Let's check with Gina. Any calls stacked up over there that I need to acknowledge?
Nope. So you can eat away.
Thank you, Gina. I appreciate it. Hey, Dave, I want to compliment you on something. I caught you with your mouth full. But Dave Zanino, for the last 2 years, you have put on that series over at Jerome at the Jerome County Fairgrounds through the course of the summer, didn't you? That team roping series. I need you to get closer to that mic. Kudos to you. There's been a lot of guys that have been rope and stock contractors, and they've kind of gone by the wayside because of the economy and other problems, logistics, and then also the fuel's not cheap at all. And everybody that went to your ropings over at the Jerome County Fairgrounds for that series for the last couple of years, I've never heard a dissenting voice. They all said very complimentary things to you, and I hope it goes well and you can do it again next year.
Oh, we're planning. I already got the steer spoke for, and we're planning to start in May again.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, with all the problems I had trying to heal up this summer, I didn't get a chance to go play like I wanted to. But, Dave, it's not easy running those ropings anymore. I mean, with the cattle and the transportation and everything, but you put on a really good roping, and when you don't have a lot of ropers complaining, you know you've done a good job.
Well, we try really hard, and I have really good help. My wife's my best partner, and I got a son that's active in it and a daughter-in-law.
Let's give a little kudos to the wives, and I hope Deanne's got the radio out in the front room on. You've been here at my place. We don't rope unless Deanne's out there.
My house either.
Yeah.
If Dawn doesn't wrap her steers and turn them loose, we don't get to rope.
Yeah. Thank God for the wives.
I couldn't do anything without my wife.
Yep. I know.
Kind of helpless.
I know. But you did manage to deliver the cake this morning unscathed. Your driving must have been very well done.
Oh, she held it on her lap because I drive fast.
No, I tell you what, you did a great job at those ropings, and the future of roping is getting bigger all the time, isn't it?
There's a lot of people that want to rope in this valley.
Yeah.
It's really hard to put the steers together and get a crew lined up. And I have an opportunity. I can take Wednesday off so I can be ready to rope on the Wednesday evening roping.
What's the hardest part right now, Dave, with that kind of a sport? I mean, there's a lot of people that want to get in the cutting business, the cow cutting business. There's a lot of people that want to team sword or team pen. But it seems like team roping, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger all the time. And I'll tell you one thing, horses are not easy to find.
No, horses are really hard to find, but everybody wants to rope. Everybody wants to get out and enjoy their recreation, and team roping's got to be a competitive sport now.
Oh,
if you aren't competitive, you won't win.
That's right. And remember the old days, years and years and years ago when we were kids, if you go win a roping like maybe 40 seconds on 3, those were the old days, you'd be doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, that's long gone, isn't it?
That's long gone.
Now they're in the teens.
In the teens, and you better rope 2 hind feet.
Yep.
Feelers are very, very important nowadays.
Right, that's right. Got a lean over at your place. nice. I've got one here, and you use yours probably a lot more than I have mine lately.
Well, I don't know. This year we didn't seem to rope much at home.
Yeah.
But I roped here with you more, I think, than I roped at my own house.
And we had fun afterwards sitting in the shade.
I love shade. I'm a shade person.
Hey, calls are welcome. 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. And I told you all about Rogge Auction that's coming up this Saturday at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds. I also want to tell you about Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation. And I'll tell you something, Dave, when you get all old and beat up like I am, that's the place to go. Nick and the rest of the crew over there at Burley Physical Therapy and Rehab at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2. Now, I tell you what, I've been going in there, and I've been having the hydrotherapy in their pool, and by the way, they're the only ones with a pool in all of this area of Magic Valley, and it has really helped. Great options, and 98% of their people come from doctor referrals, so if you're having some problems with your knees, your arms, whatever, be sure and stop in, because these people know. And they've had people in there ages 6 months all the way to 96 years of age. They really know and they care, and they can help you. And they've got a great insurance coverage program working with all insurances, and a great mix of exercises to help you get back to being you. At Burley Physical Therapy and Rehabilitation, you give them a call today and stop in at 1263 Bennett Avenue, Suite 2 in Burley. Don't get boogered up like I am, but I'll tell you what, they're good over there. I love that pool.
I haven't seen Nick since he was a little kid, but his dad, Garth, I grew up around him.
You know Garth?
The Greenwell family for probably most of my life.
You know, Garth is a dear, dear friend, and he's had some problems, some health problems, and that's a good one to give a shout-out to this morning, because he is such a nice guy, and some of the stories that he tells about his dog training, now, I don't know if you've heard those stories, and I want to preface my remarks by saying we cannot repeat those stories on the air. and if Garth is listening this morning, I can see a smile on his face right now. So he's a character.
Well, I grew up around his dad and him and his brother Morris, and I have stories that we should write a book or make a movie about them.
Oh my goodness,
that is a character family.
Well, just darn good people, and I've really enjoyed getting to know Nick even better through the rehab there at Burley Physical Therapy, and there's a lot of the old dad in Nick too. You know, there's that kind of a sly grin and everything. You got to look out for him.
Oh yeah,
they're fun people.
Hook the mules to the wagon and watch Oakley go crazy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Hey, have you been following the news lately and listened to this mess with the Secret Service back in D.C.?
Yeah, what a joke.
It is a joke.
It's a joke.
You know, it's absolutely ridiculous that Julie Pearson was the Secret Service director. And yesterday morning, this is what was so funny. Yesterday morning, Obama basically praised her, and by afternoon, she had submitted her resignation, and she's history. And she was not qualified to be in that job. Most of the people that were able to speak out from the Secret Service said that she wasn't nearly tough enough. And I was listening to a gentleman on television this morning that's been on my program 3 or 4 different times, Ron Kessler. He's an author, and he's written a lot of books about the shortcomings of what's going on the Potomac with our politicians, etc. And he said, too, that 2 months ago, he mentioned on the air and on this program that the Secret Service was lacking for doing a good job of protecting the president, and then all this happens. I mean, can you imagine a guy jumping over a fence with a knife and getting in the White House and basically running all over the place?
Well, I can't imagine they leave the front door of the White House unlocked.
With no security.
With nobody standing there with a machine gun.
Yeah.
I mean...
and the one that was there was a woman that he just basically knocked over and kept on going.
I don't know. I think they need to get Condoleezza Rice to run the Secret Service. Get
Not a bad
tough.
thought. Not a bad
somebody
thought.
Tough that's got an attitude that, hey, we will win.
But, you know, going back to that, Dave, when the 2008 election was coming up around the corner, that was my pick for President Condoleezza to run against Barack Obama, and I think we would have been a lot better off.
We need someone tough.
Yeah.
Tough and a little bit mean.
Who is it? Who is it, really? Look at all the candidates, and you and I have talked politics many times in the backyard. My fear is that a lot of people in the news media are just pushing Hillary right to the forefront, and she hasn't even said she'd run yet.
Well, she probably wouldn't do much good anyway. We need somebody tough. We need somebody that's about half crazy. If they say, hey, we're going to draw a red line in the sand, bomb them about 10 feet before there.
I agree with you. There isn't any toughness. And I'm not trying to say or intimate that Obama is a complete washout and very vanilla in his handlings of world affairs, but tell me one instance where the man has backed up his rhetoric with any tough tactics. He hasn't.
They don't.
None.
And our Congress, whether they're on the right or the left, they don't have any stones to do it either.
I agree.
We got to get tough. Our country needs to be tough. Political correctness needs to go out the window, and we got to be tough.
I couldn't agree more. But, have we gone too far to the point where here we have a Secret Service director that didn't do anything? They even were in an elevator in Atlanta when the president was down there visiting the CDC, and they get in an elevator with a guy that's a former felon and carrying a gun.
I don't know.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Calls are welcome, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. We're kind of laid back and enjoying the day as I celebrate a birthday right here on the air. And Don Zanino brought over a beautiful, delicious, absolutely fantastic German chocolate cake, and we're enjoying that right now. Thank you very much. Hey, don't forget, speaking of food, don't forget Sophie's Chatterbox, 530 East Street on the Square in Rupert. Oh, my goodness. What a great place to go for breakfast, lunch, or supper, Monday through Friday, 6 to 6, Saturdays and Sundays, 6 to 2. And the bakery they've got over there, wedding cakes, cookie bars, homemade bread, and delicious cinnamon rolls. Absolutely fantastic at Sophie's Chatterbox on the Square in Rupert, 436-0354. Give us a call, 436-2244, 1-866-927-4587. Are you a Boise State University fan, by the way, Dave?
No, I'm not.
University of Idaho?
Idaho Vandal or Nevada Wolfpack. I'm from Nevada, so...
That's right. You were born and raised, what, down in Ely, right?
In Ely, Nevada.
Ely, Nevada. And
relatives in Reno.
Really? Now, Ely, Nevada, they have a pretty good high school sports program there?
I left there when I was 17. I don't know.
17, okay. But, you're a fan of the Wolfpack, and quite frankly, that's who Boise State plays this weekend. You knew that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, who you picking? Go ahead and tell us who you think's going to win.
I got to go with the great state of Nevada.
You're going to go with the Silver State of Nevada over the Boise State Broncos.
I'm sorry to tell your listeners that I am not a Boise State fan. Never have been and never will be.
Let's get Gina in on this one real quick.
He's my new favorite. He is my new favorite.
Gina is a University of Idaho supporter, a Vandal, and then across the river and through the hills over to Larry Hudig's place we go, and Larry also is a Vandal fan. Now, so far, how many games you won this year, Gina?
Zip.
None. Nada. Okay.
Nada. Zip.
Now, unless I've miscounted, Boise State is 3-2. Right.
Yes, 3-2, and they're number 3 in their conference.
And I'm going to be very honest and very blunt about what I'm about to say, and this will shock you and Hudig and others. But I honestly think that the Nevada Wolfpack will absolutely devour Boise State on Saturday.
I'm hoping they do.
Well, you're just kind of malicious.
Hey, you know what? Like I always say, Boise State really does have a good team. They really do, and they've got the recruiting down pat, which is good for the coaches. Yeah. However, I will never, ever, even in my grave, root for the Boise State Broncos.
Could you be more definitive?
No.
Oh, okay.
Hey, and Idaho State won a game too, so we can't leave out our other Idaho college.
You know, you're right. I forgot about
Bengals. The Bengals are down, but they won a game.
The Bengals,
Hey,
you know,
so that means
absolutely.
they're one up on the Vandals.
Yep, we've got to give credit where credit is due.
That's right.
But I think the Wolfpack, and they've got a great quarterback that plays for the Wolfpack. I mean, this guy's very athletic, got a good arm, and I think the score is going to be the Wolfpack 24, Boise State 17.
And, of course, Idaho Vandals take on the Texas State Bobcats this weekend, who are 2-2.
Do you want to know the score of that game?
Let's see here. I'm going to wage to say that the score is going to be 34-11.
And you're picking whom?
Texas State.
I like a real fan.
You know what? I am realistic. I will be rooting for the Vandals. I will be listening on the radio as I deliver my daughter's car to her this weekend. However, let's be realistic here, folks. Even though we are Vandals, our chances are pretty slim. And so if I was going to win a bet, I'm going to go with the Boise State Bobcats.
And by the way, it's my birthday today, and what a gift I have been presented, because tonight I get the chance on my birthday to watch the Green Bay Packers totally dismantle and tear apart the Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh. I think that I think you're going to be correct on that one.
The way the Pack came back against the Bears last Sunday, are you kidding? I'm starting to wear green and gold again. I'm starting to get my cheese head off the shelf. I'm starting to have kind of qualms and shakes that maybe the Super Bowl is not out of question.
What kind of a fan are you if you actually put your attire up on the shelf? A true fan never puts the attire away.
I'm a realist.
Yeah, I know, me too. You've got a phone call.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
Honestly, that was Dwayne Wageman, and Dwayne called back. You hung up.
Oh, my, he's gone then, huh?
Yeah, he left.
Oh, I hate that when guys all of a sudden, they just leave.
We need to do a weather forecast.
We'll do that. Yes, thank you for the reminder. You know, sometimes I get to eating cake and I forget about it.
I know.
It's time for the weather, brought to you by Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. Have you been in the Mad River Laser? Well, I'll tell you something, Dave. My sweatshirts, T-shirts, caps, all of this, and you can buy all of that stuff very soon with Zeb at the Ranch. Oh, it's going to be neat. And they've got everything over there. All the buck knives. You buy a buck knife over there, and they'll engrave it for free. Just mention my name. Tote bags, sweatshirts, T-shirts, everything. This is a neat store for the promotional items for your business. Nicole Pratt and Mad River Laser. You're going to love it at 502 East Street in Rupert. Right now, here's Michael Rogers weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers for Zeb at the Ranch. Sunny today. 68 to 71 for the high. We're going to start to get up into the 70s. By Sunday, you should be hitting 75 for the high. But other than that, a lot of clouds. I mean, a lot of sun, very little clouds. And it's still a nice weekend happening. So enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend, and enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Hey, Gina, can you do me a favor and just rewind Michael Rogers and have it played again so I can take another bite of cake?
How about you take a phone call first?
I'll tell you what, I got to tell everybody, Mad River Laser, 502 East Street in Rupert. Oh, absolutely the place to go. You stop over and see Nicole today. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hello, you old geezer.
I appreciate that.
I'm calling you to wish you a happy birthday.
Well, thank you.
A piece of cake for me.
Thank you very, very much for your well wishes. I appreciate that. And, yeah, I'll tell you what, if there's any left, you want to stop by, but I'll guarantee you I'm going to go to work on this after I'm off the air.
I figured so.
All right. Hey, thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll see you.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That was nice. Thank you very much. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Good morning. I just want to wish you the very happiest of birthdays and the very happiest coming year.
You know, I know who this is, Lorna. I appreciate your call this morning, and thank you. You have been such a nice lady over the years, attending all of our lunch bunches and our other activities, and it's just people like you that make my day special. Thank you so much.
Well, I wish you the very, very happiest, and to my very best good friend.
Well, thank you.
I appreciate you guys so very much.
You've been so kind, and we always look forward to seeing you, and you've helped us at various events and everything. And right back at you. God bless you, and thank you so much.
Oh, and thank you.
All right. Take care, Lorna. Thank you.
God bless.
I tell you, Dave, nice people out there.
We got a great area and community.
You know, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he's an insurance agent, and he's formerly out of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And he said, I listen to you. I know where you are on the radio. I know where your program and everything. And I said, well, tune in again tomorrow. And he says, yeah, I will. And I forgot that being my birthday, you know, we're away from the political. We're away from a lot of the serious stuff here today. But, you know, with all the people with their well wishes and everything, it just kind of makes my tears well up my eyes a little bit. It's nice to be appreciated for what you do, and we've got some great friends here.
We do. We have everybody in this valley. I've lived here most of my life. But
yeah.
I've got a lot of friends and acquaintances, but this is a good area to live in.
Absolutely.
And Rupert's the safest city in Idaho, they said yesterday on the news.
I was listening to that, and what is it? It's like number 5 in the Northwest safest or something like that?
Yeah, they were really bragging up Rupert.
Yeah.
So we got old Rupert over there.
Holy
My
smokes.
kind of hometown, I guess.
You can walk down the street anytime, and you can say hello to people, and you're not going to worry about getting bopped over the head and all this kind of stuff. That's great.
That's a really good part of our area.
You know, and that town over there, I got to say this about that city park. Every single time, and this is no exaggeration, every time we go over to Rupert for one of the events in the city square, it reminds me when you drive up to the city square and then you have to turn right, and in your case, you don't follow directions. You probably go the wrong way around the square. But it reminds me of the movie It's a Wonderful Life with James Stewart. It reminds me of that kind of a community.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm not old enough to know that movie.
Oh,
yes.
no, come on. That's one of the best Christmas movies ever made, and you don't remember that?
Christmas isn't a favorite time of I'm not a Christmassy person.
Why?
I don't know.
I love
They start Christmas in October and they end it in February. Christmas should start on December 22nd and be done.
Well, man, I'll tell you, this is the Grinch that stole the microphone this morning. Holy smokes. Caller, good morning. Set this man straight. Go ahead.
Hey, Zeb, I'm just calling to wish you happy birthday. I don't get to talk to you much anymore, but I just want you to know how much I appreciate you telling it like it is on your station and letting the people know the way things really are in this world. And I want you to have a really happy birthday.
I think I know who this is, and
I think you probably do.
I'm going to just say the first. I'm going to say the first name, and if I'm wrong, I'm going to be embarrassed. But it sounds like Renee.
It must be.
God bless you. How's everything up in Oakley?
Oh, doing pretty good. Enjoying retirement.
Now,
Doing a little bit of fun stuff here and there.
You're making me jealous. You're making me jealous.
I'm really enjoying 30 grandkids is what I'm enjoying most of all.
You've got 30 grandchildren?
I have 30 grandchildren.
Oh, my goodness sakes. You have the patience of Job.
You know what? The nice thing is you can always send them home to Mom and Dad after you get planted. I can't stand them.
Yeah, but you have to rent a bus to get them back home.
Well, I run the tires off my car anyway.
Oh, Renee, so nice of you to call. That meant a lot. Thank you so much.
You have a happy birthday. I've been thinking about you ever since I saw that it was coming up. So.
Well, appreciate it, and the very best to you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. That was nice. I haven't heard from that lady for a long time. I tell you what, how old are you, Zanino? You're just a pup. What, about 53, 54?
I'm old enough to know better, but young enough still not to care.
There you go. I know that feeling. But really, I don't feel, that old, except for my legs. I'd be ready to go out and dance all night.
Well, we can get you a scooter.
You put me on a scooter.
Hold on, Deanne.
Yeah, look out. Here we go. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Well, happy birthday, Zeb. Mary and I want to wish you a happy birthday.
Well, thank you, Tony and Mary, some of the dearest, sweetest people I've ever met. And one of these days, now that we're in fall and slowing down a little bit, we have got to go back out to eat again. It's such a pleasure to sit and visit with you and your wife.
Yes, and when we do, it's on us. Whether it's breakfast or lunch, whatever it is.
No, we've argued about this until we almost come to fisticuffs. It's my turn, Tony.
You can't mess with me. I'm too tough for you.
Okay. Oh, God bless you, and thank you for your kind remarks.
You're welcome, Zeb.
All right, God bless. Thank
Say hi
you.
to Deanne and wish her the best.
I will. Thank you very, very much. Oh,
Okay.
man. Nice
Bye-bye.
people, nice people. Hey, I know some other nice people right now. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, and they've got all the tires on sale. All the tires. Dave, are you leaving? By gosh, thanks an awful lot, my friend. Thank you. And next time I call, I'm going to find out where you are. Thank you. Dawn, thanks for the cake. It was absolutely phenomenal, and I'm going to keep chewing on it through the news, I promise. God bless you. Thank you. Dave and Don Zanino coming over with a cake. That was really, really nice. Back to what I was telling you about with your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you with the best in tires, and of course, don't forget, they've got the best in brake service and front-end alignment, shocks and struts, and the best in batteries. But you know, when you stop and think about it, the very best in service. They really take care of you. All you have to do is stop in and see Lane and Rupert, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. The best. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I got time for another call before we have to run for this hour. Give us a jingle. My son, hey, Gina, I got to tell you, my son was on TV this morning. Jake.
Why was he on TV?
Well, he's a fireman in Boise, you know.
Yes.
And the fire headquarters that he operates out of as assistant captain up there and everything, they were putting on a great big kind of a pumpkin promotion and for all the kids and everything. And so they had the entirety of their property just smothered with pumpkins. And Larry Gebhardt from Channel 7, the weatherman, was up there, and they were interviewing him, and there was Jake toting pumpkins all over the camera, and so it was nice to see my son on TV this morning.
So he didn't talk, he was just seen.
I don't know if they interviewed him. I only had a chance to watch about 2 segments, so I don't know if they interviewed him or not. Jake is not really, he's been on the program here before, you've heard him, and when he comes down to visit and everything, but he's not really an outgoing person. He's kind of shy like his mom. Yeah.
I know that we've had him on the show before, and he was very soft-spoken, and he really didn't want to be on the show. I think you kind of had to twist his arm and said, dude, you're doing it.
It was more than a twist. I'll tell you that. He's not like his old dad, I'll tell you that. But Jake is just, I'm so proud of him and everything he's accomplished and everything he's done, and so it was kind of fun to see him on TV this morning.
Okay, so now that we're getting close to the top of the hour, I'm going to let the birthday boy pick the outro song.
I'm a Toby Keith fan.
Okay.
And if you play the song you know I like the best with Toby Keith, that would make me just feel tickled to death. So I'll just be quiet and let you have it and say I'll be back in 6.
You got it.
Thank you. Wow. Don Zanino, if you're listening, cake piece number 1 was great. Now we're going to work on cake piece number 2. Wow! German chocolate cake for my birthday. I love it. I love it. Wonderful folks, the Zaninos here this morning. Thank you very much. And thank you for all your well wishes in that first hour. I'm Zeb Bell on Zeb at the Ranch, and our major sponsor, of course, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations serving you, along with some of our great advertisers, and they include Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley. We're going to hear from them later on. And our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Don't forget, lots of great people right here on Zeb at the Ranch. Right now, speaking of great people, I want to remind you, too, about our dear, dear friend Joel Heward, manager of Hanson Mortuary at 710 6th Street in Rupert. You know, excuse me, very flexible hours. They are there when you need them, and they can travel to the rural towns and the churches and help you make the arrangements when there's the passing of a loved one. They will be there when you need them, always with the highest ethical standards, with unquestioned integrity. Please remember this number, 436-5636. Joel Heward, manager of Hanson Mortuary, 710 6th Street in Rupert. Thank you very much. Real quick, before we get our next guest on the phone, I want to remind remind you also about Let's Ride, where the fun is sold. Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley, open Mondays through to Saturdays, and they got the new snow machines in. Yes, they do, and all the accessories. Get ready for the Angel Dandruff up on the mountain to go snow machining. They've got everything in stock for you. Along with, and there's still plenty of time to enjoy the ATVs up in the mountains and enjoy the fall colors. And again, all the accessories right there at Let's Ride, Highway 24 between Rupert and Burley, where the fun is sold. Good morning to the lovely Kay Cameron over at the Mini-Cassia Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, Zeb. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. How are you? Oh, my goodness, we've got all kinds of folks coming in through the door here. I've got the lovely Miss Vicky here. My goodness sakes, what in the world? Kay, I'm going to let you just tell everybody what's going on at the Chamber, and I'm going to visit with my friends here in the studio. Go ahead.
Well, things are good at the Chamber. We love fall. It's been a beautiful fall. We've seen a lot of visitors coming in from all over the country. Fall is a fabulous time to travel. The thing that we have found is that we've got a lot of retirees that are traveling this time of year, so they can get out and see things and not have to fight for space with families and people with kids in school. They can get out and have more accessibility because there's not as many people on the road. So a lot of retirees traveling, and there's so much fun and lots of fun to visit with. The next thing I want to talk about is we were just so excited to hear that the city of Rupert was listed as one of the top 5 safest cities in Idaho, according to Movado, which is a real estate website. And it just made me think about our community in general, the Mini-Cassia community, and not just in Rupert, but in all of Mini-Cassia, the whole Mini-Cassia community. We have such a great community, and you do feel safe in our community, and it's wonderful to be a part of it and to be here, and it's a great place to raise our families and to have kids, and it's great for bringing in new business. But it is safe, and I just want to give a big shout out to all of those that work hard daily to ensure that we have a safe place.
I'm back, and you know what? What you said about Rupert is absolutely the truth, and really nice people. Now, can I tell you what's been happening here, Kay?
Okay.
I have been given gifts. The lovely Miss Vicky from Vicky's Country Gardens, and Ross Newcomb showed up, and on behalf of his wife, Dina Newcomb, they brought in some Ranch House chocolates. I also have salsa from Miss Vicky, and here's a gift that we're going to use every day on our program. It's a countdown to Obama's last day as president, and it's a little dial that tells how many minutes, how many hours, how many seconds before we finally wave goodbye to him and Mama Obama.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
I'm having a great birthday party, I'll tell you, and I did not mean to leave you on the hook and do all the verbiage for the Mini-Cassia Chamber report, but you did one heck of a job.
Hey, you know what? I can muddle through anything.
Well, muddling on my birthday is over and above, and I appreciate it. But is there anything else you want to mention this morning?
Nope, I just want to tell everybody to have a safe weekend. It's going to be a nice weekend, a little cooler than we've had, but be safe, be careful, and enjoy this beautiful weather that we're going to have.
You know, I wish that you, honestly, I mean this, I wished you were about, 31 miles closer, and you could have some of my German chocolate cake.
Well, I wish too. You know, I've said in the past that I would sure love to just pop over some morning and be live on the show, but we had our board meeting this morning, so instead I'm calling from the office as I do. But one of these days I'll pop in and do my program from your office.
I will look forward to it, and thank you so much for all you do. How does everybody get a hold of you at the Chamber of Commerce?
Come by and see us. We're located at 1177 7th Street in Heyburn. Give us a call at 208-679-4793. Find us online at minicassiachamber.com. Like us on Facebook. Connect with us on LinkedIn and follow us on Twitter.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Kay. God bless you, and stop over anytime. Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good day.
All right, thanks. Thank you. Look who is in the studio with me, and I'm going to put her on the air. Vicki, get real close to that. My goodness, I think this is the first time you've ever been in my studio, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I talked to you on the radio, but, on the phone, that type of thing, but I haven't been over here.
Now, you've got to make a promise, though, before you leave. There's a little notepad by the door that whatever you see here and whatever you remember here has to stay here. It's like Vegas, okay?
I'm kind of looking around here saying, yep, I think there's probably some incriminating evidence here. Nothing serious.
You've been in a lot of offices, I'm sure, but you probably have never seen one this cluttered.
Well, it kind of looks like my store, pretty much. I mean, I got run out of my office. My secretary just flat run me out and said, I can't stand you in here any longer. So
really?
that was years ago, and so I don't even have an office.
The thing is, with all the memorabilia from the rodeo business and everything else, this is only about a third of what I wanted to put up in this office with all the pictures and everything. We've got boxes and boxes of 8.5 by 11 pictures upstairs. So it's a little cluttered.
Oh, but it's kind of cool. I mean, a lot of memorabilia and lets everybody know what you're all about. That's the whole thing right there.
No, wait a minute. I want to find out now, why in the world would you think that I would enjoy a gift about Countdown to Obama's Last Day?
I saw that in a magazine, and I said, I got to get that for Zeb. I mean, it took me a long time to get that thing programmed. I'll tell you what, me and my secretary worked about 2 days to program that. But,
really?
But it is basically true. There's, 800 and some days?
841. And then it goes into the hours and the minutes and the seconds, and it is working, I'll tell you that. I love it.
So I just wanted you to be able to get that countdown going. So, there was a light at the end of your tunnel. It wasn't a freight train.
Yeah, thank you. I've got just a second here. What are you doing now that you're done gardening for the year?
I'm canning salsa, as you just noticed.
I cannot wait to try that. I'm a salsa lover.
Yeah, well, I've just done about 60-some jars of salsa, and now I'm doing a lot of more canning. So
how was Vicki's Country Garden this year?
We had a great season.
Really?
A great season. It was an awesome season. Even though the year was a little goofy, it's been a good year.
When you say goofy, what were some of the aspects that you say are probably out of the norm?
Well, the spring, it was, we had just an odd spring. It was hot one day and cold the next, and the plants didn't know whether they wanted to grow or die or go back into hibernation or what. It's just been, we've had a lot of reports in on different things of plants not doing what they normally do, and I think it was because of some days it'd be 90 degrees and then we'd drop to 65.
Yeah.
Those kind of fluctuations are real hard on plants.
And I'm going to take this call, and I want to come back and talk to you about climate change and global warming, and I think you and I are on the same page, and we're talking to Vicki from Vicki's Country Gardens, so stand by. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning, Jeff.
Yes, sir.
I see Vicki got it to you.
Yes, she did. You knew about it, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I was the last to know.
Well, you always are.
But thank you, Al. I appreciate that.
What I was trying to do is get for you was a target and put Obama's picture in it and then get some darts. And everything was going good till the clerk asked me what the darts was for, and I said, I'm going to give them to Zeb Bell. She said, sorry, it's not for sale.
Al, thank you for your call. God bless you, man. Thank you. Oh, I love that family. They're really, really nice. I got to quickly pay some bills. Somebody else you know over in your neck of the woods, and that's Dean Cameron Todd Siemens at Cameron Siemens Insurance. Don't forget, when it's life insurance, health insurance, retirement planning, or employee benefits, you want to talk to the people that really know and understand, are accessible, very devoted to helping serve you. Give them a call at their office, 436-4424, and that's, of course, the office for Cameron and Siemens Insurance, Highway 24 in Rupert. When you think about your financial future, always think Cameron and Siemens Insurance. I want to just mention this to you because you're involved in gardening and plants and the growth of plants and everything. And why is it, Vicki, that a lot of people don't realize that with the climate change and the global warming crowd saying, oh, we got to cool things off. Oh, we've got to make it much cooler. They don't realize that what kind of an effect that would have on agriculture and food production, gardening, etc.
Exactly.
The cooler the temperatures, the more problems it is to grow something.
It's true. We have to have the sun. We have to have the warmth to get things, to get crops to produce the way they're supposed to. And if we're trying to feed the world, you can't. You notice Antarctica doesn't usually ship out too much stuff.
There's not a lot of corn.
No, they just don't do a lot up in there. You
No.
know, Alaska's not a big. You know, they don't ship out a lot of fruits and vegetables and things. It usually comes from those warmer climates.
Absolutely.
And so we have to have. I mean, Mother Nature is one of those. You have to have good old sunshine and warm temperatures in order to get things to grow. And we've been really lucky in our area. We have the sunshine but it's not the extreme heat. And our climate here is not changing that much.
No.
I mean, you're going to have odd years. I don't care. You have anything changes as the world rotates around here. I mean, we're going to have a few things change, and I think you just got a bunch of radicals out there yapping.
Well, and for the last 17 and a half years, going on 18, there's actually been proven facts that we've been underneath a climate cooling, which is typical of cyclical changes in the temperatures and the Earth's patterns and everything. But some of the radicalism that these people want after they had that meeting on climate change back in New York, I mean, they want to take some drastic steps, and they're going, oh, woe is me, we've got to cool the Earth down by this many degrees, etc. All that's going to do is throw food production into a complete tailspin.
Well, that's exactly right. And these people, they get a wild idea, and they don't stop and think of the repercussions of what they're talking about. I'm sorry, this whole world's gone on for many, 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 many years, and they didn't really need anybody to tell us when we had to turn the temperature up or down. I think there's somebody up there that kind of regulates that a little bit on his own and kind of, keeps things rolling just kind of the way it needs to be done.
One of my lunch bunchers said it best. Old Rodney came in one day and he said, God's the one that has his hand on the thermostat.
That's what I say, it's been running, this is not just a short-term situation we've been in here on this earth, and as far as I'm concerned, you need to just sit back and take a deep seat and hang on and hope for the best.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, and I saw this in the paper the other day, and I was going to do a little segment on it this next week. I see that the EPA and others are going after more pesticides, and they're aimed at California again to be kind of the leader of stopping certain things. How much more can agriculture take as far as stoppage of pesticides, etc., before nothing, and there won't be any safety or sanctity for raising our crops?
Well, that's just it. I mean, they're getting to the point where they're so intent on keeping that one or two people safe that have maybe had an allergy or something, they don't look at the overall picture, I think. And we've got to have some pesticides because we are getting more and more diseases and more insects coming in that are doing damage and wiping us out. And, I mean, we've got to be able to fight these funguses. And, I mean, look what happened to our barley crop this year. I mean, the mold and that, if that would have been something coming on gradually, they could have hit them with some fungicides and stuff and hopefully stop some of that. But they're getting to the point where they're trying to regulate us so much. And even in the lawn and garden, they're taking stuff off. Like I was saying, they've taken the chemical 7 that everyone knows. It's now, we've got about 2 years we can sell through it, but it's done. It's
really?
And so they're coming out with pyrethrins and pyrethroids, which last about 3 to 4 days, and then you're back spraying.
And so then you're talking about an encumbrance of spending a lot more money.
Yes.
A lot more money.
Yeah.
Do you think, is it really safe to say that the way things are going in agriculture, if we keep letting the bureaucrats run it, pretty soon there won't be any safe controls whatsoever on raising crops?
Well, I'm hoping that they're going to leave the agricultural guys alone with the chem licenses and that. I'm hoping they're not going to take everything away from them.
Yeah.
And possibly, I hate to say this, but I think it's going to come back to the burden on the home gardener because they're the ones that get in trouble. They're the ones that complain. And they're the ones that end up with, the stories hitting the air, of somebody's child having a problem.
Yeah.
It's usually the home gardening. They're trying to make it safer in the home garden area. I'm hoping they're going to leave the farmers alone more or less and leave, because they still have some good chemicals that they have pulled away from the home gardening. It's just that a lot of people, the farmers have chem licenses. They go to classes. They learn how to use chemicals. The home gardener doesn't. And there's nothing regulating them. And I think that maybe is kind of where they're going with some of this.
One of the last questions I've got to ask, and then I've got to go do my Dog Nation segment, but, there's been rumors that the government wants to regulate, the farmers markets on the street corners and over in the malls and everything, and regulate the sale of food, etc. What do you look for on the horizon as far as more government and bureaucratic control over this?
I don't think there's any way that they can regulate all that. They can try, but there's no way they're going to be able to keep all of these little home gardeners and that from selling their produce and things like that. I'm sure they may be having to start getting licenses on it so they kind of know what they're selling and things like that. There again, it's a health issue type situation, I guess. But as far as I'm concerned, they need to move on to bigger and better things that they've got out there worrying them besides the little home gardener. He isn't hurting a thing. He's not hurting anybody. He's just helping the world.
How did you and I ever get to be our age? My goodness, it's surprising that we ever lived past 20, according to the government.
That's right.
Isn't it a shame?
It is. We need to fight against this in the gardening industry, in the nursery industry, to stop them from trying to regulate everything. It's just getting ridiculous.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming by this morning.
You bet. Just wanted to wish you a happy birthday, and I knew you had to have that clock so you could count those days down.
That is going to stay right here on this desk. I'm going to take it out of this wrapper, and every time I look at it, I'm going to think of you. Thank you so much.
All right. Happy birthday, Zeb.
God bless you. Thank you. Vicki from Vicky's Country Garden, thank you very much. I got to do a commercial, and then we'll be all set to go with our next little segment. We've got Ken Mort coming on. Thank you, Vicki. God bless you very much. Thank you. Don't forget the Chadwick Sports Grill, and they're at 139 West Main in Burley. Don't forget, too, that today they've got a chicken hero with tzatziki sauce. Now, if anybody knows what tzatziki sauce is, it would be Gina over at our station. She is the Chef Boyardee girl of everything that goes on to be edible. Chicken hero with tzatziki sauce. Choice of potato and super salad. That's the special at the Chadwick Sports Grill at 139 West Main in Burley today. I love saying that. A chicken hero with a tzatziki sauce. Going to be good. Right now, where in the world did all these dogs come from, for Pete's sakes?
Dogs out! Who let the dogs out?
Who let these dogs out anyway? Good morning, Officer Ken Mort with Minidoka Animal Control. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb. I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Oh, I am doing great. I've got some really nice people over here, and they've been helping celebrate my birthday. I've got all kinds of food. I've got all kinds of candy. I've got a gauge, countdown to Obama's last day. I've got everything.
Right on. So you finally turned 21, I think.
Times 4. Almost. What about the dog business? What's going on at Minidoka Animal Control?
Well, today I'm wanting to feature one that I found yesterday, and I want to try to find its owner. She's a black and white border collie. Found her and stuff, and just wandering around in the middle of the road on 100 South and about 125 west over here by Rupert.
Okay.
She acted like she was lost. I mean, she's a real sweetheart of a dog. She came right up to me and was just as friendly as I'll get out. I dropped the tailgate on the truck and opened up the back of the truck. She jumped right in, ready to go for a ride. Got her over to the facility and stuff and when I got a kennel set up for her, looked at her and I told her to kennel up, and she went right into the kennel and was, just awesome. So if somebody's out there missing Annette from the Rupert area or the Minicaja area, or even another area that may have been passing through that lost a dog, Annette, matching this description, I'm not going to tell everything so that they can describe her a little bit better to me. Please give us a call at 438-2200 or call me on my cell phone at 670-7268.
Sounds like a very valuable dog.
Oh yes, and her temperament. She seems to be as Annette housebroke. Just just a real sweetheart of a dog.
Boy. You know, I could not do your job. I get too attached to all the good dogs out there. Hey, Ken, let me say thank you to our friends Ross Newcomb and Vicky. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. They just stopped by to give us some birthday presents. And I'll tell you what, if you're hungry, Ken, this place of mine is the place to be right now this morning.
Sounds like it.
I've got German chocolate cake. I've got candied apples. I've got salsa. I've got everything. What about the other dogs over there? Are you? Is your facility almost chock full of dogs this time of the year?
We're a little over half full. We've got probably like 15 or 16 dogs in there, but we've got several of them that are actually leaving this weekend that have found homes in other areas that we've gotten volunteers to come in that are going to be transporting them for us to get them to their new homes. And right now, Annette, the only thing that I've got in there that is actually available was one that I picked up this morning. That is a pointer. She is approximately a year old. Very, very sweetheart of a dog as well. And the owners and stuff and that just weren't able to keep her due to some other issues and that, so they surrendered her to us. We actually named her Patches. Because she's got the brown patches and stuff and that all throughout her body and stuff and that. So, it kind of fit her, and she kind of took to it real quick. So, but other than that, all the rest of them we've actually got homes for.
Ken, real quick, and I'm almost out of time, but I had a lady call me last week, and she said, I heard your segment Dog Nation on the radio a couple of weeks ago, and she said, what is the procedure for going to adopt a dog? And I said, you know what, I'll have Ken mention that quickly on the air.
Well, depending on where you live, like with us, Annette, if you come in and you're interested in a dog, we'll show you the dogs and everything, and you just kind of give us an idea of what you're looking for. If we've got that, we'll bring it out, let you intermingle with it and everything. If you're willing to or wanting to adopt it, basically we charge a $55 adoption fee plus half a spay or neuter if the dog needs to be spayed or neutered, which that there and stuff, and the combination of that is still cheaper than what you'd have to pay if you paid full price for a spay or neuter. And the dogs have been vaccinated for canine distemper, parvo, bordetella, and have also been wormed. The only thing that they haven't been done is given a rabies, which most of the vets around here and stuff and that are pretty reasonable when it comes to giving a rabies vaccination. And then they turn around, we've got a little 6-line form that they fill out. If they live within the Minidoka area, they have to purchase a license as well, which is $10 a year. And then they go home that same day and stuff and that with the dog. Okay.
And for more information, Ken, give the number one more time, would you please?
Reach us at 438-2200 or 670-7268.
You are the best. Thank you, Officer Ken Mort, Minidoka Animal Control. Dear friend, God bless you and have a wonderful week. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Zeb, and happy birthday.
Thank you. Where'd all these dogs come from anyway? Oh, my goodness. Minidoka Animal Control and a dear friend, known him for many, many years, Officer Ken Mort. Just a super nice guy. Hey, don't forget, did you hear that? Did you hear that? You didn't hear that? Well, then you had better listen closely as I tell you to call 312-0957. That is the number for Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids with Christine Pickup, Doctor of Audiology. Her office is located at 1218 9th Street, Unit 2, right behind the Minidoka Hospital, across from the emergency room. 312-0957, and have a hearing test. And by the way, if you're going hunting, don't forget she's got the shooter plugs for your ears. You can hear the animals and everything else, but when you shoot the gun blast is not going to hurt your ears. So please check that out today. Did you hear that? Mount Harrison Audiology and Hearing Aids, 312-0957. Holy smokes, I've got to run. I've got a beautiful lady on the end of the line waiting to talk to me this morning. Good morning, Rita Ramsey. How are you? Maybe she's not there. Good morning, Rita Ramsey. Once again, how are you?
Zeb, I'm here. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. How are you doing this morning?
I'm real good.
Well, I got to ask you first and foremost, Rita, wow. I mean, every day for the last week since I was gone last Thursday, I had to go to a real estate seminar. But 2 weeks ago when I talked to you, the changes that have been going on in all the news, starting first of all with this Ebola scare. I mean, Rita, we always looked at the problem as being basically in an area in Africa, and that was the worry area, if you will. Now it is anywhere, all over. Hawaii, Dallas, Texas. It could be in New York City of our country. I mean, my goodness, there's a lot of scares right now.
Well, yeah, absolutely, and the part that just boggles my mind is why have they not closed off flights from those countries over there? You know, they shut down flights into Israel because they were within 25 miles of maybe a rocket going off. But they won't close down the borders in those countries to hold people in and say, hey, we need to get this under control. We don't want it to spread any further.
I am absolutely astounded as to how they can possibly allow this to get completely out of hand like it is right now, with not only the incoming flights, but also they're not checking these people when they're boarding the airplanes. They're not checking these people that closely when they get off the airplane. They're not checking the contacts. This gentleman that's in Dallas, Texas right now, they're starting to find out that he had contact with a minimum of at least 80-plus people, plus some children in the Dallas area, and now many of the parents are holding the kids from school.
Well, and the other thing is that he went to the hospital, and they gave him some antibiotics and said, go home. They didn't even check on him, and he told them where he was from.
How worried are you about this thing becoming in possible epidemic fashion here in the United States?
Oh, I think it can really get out of control. However, there was one thing that they were talking about on some early morning radio I was listening to before I came to work, and that is Franklin Graham had said that over there where they're, trying to see if they can get the Ebola virus under control and treating a lot of people, that basically just plain old chlorine bleach will kill it. And so the answer to the question is are we going to keep our hands washed and keep washing our hands? And it might not be a bad idea to actually pick up a few extra bottles of chlorine bleach to have for cleaning, because that simple basic thing will kill that virus if it is out and among any of us or spread around. And those of us who think that it won't happen to us are probably going to be the ones that it could actually affect. So we better just be on our guard.
I guess I'm being very nitpicky against the Obama administration on a lot of things this morning. But when you look at what's happening with now the spread of Ebola, and I do blame the Obama administration for bringing this to the United States, and I do blame them for a laxity at our airports, etc., and all the other news that's going on with his lack of courage, his lack of being straightforward, the Secret Service falling apart and not doing their job. I mean, honestly, it's like buying a cheap $29 suit. All the threads are falling apart right now, Rita.
Well, that's absolutely true. And, there was a former CNN host that says, Obama has committed personal suicide because what has happened is he's single-handedly alienated 200,000 employees in the American intelligence agencies when he went on 60 Minutes and said, it's because we didn't have the right this and that and the other, and we didn't know, and, that didn't have anything to do with me. It's just that they were responsible. The other thing is that when you have as many people fired as he's had fired, he's in big trouble, and I think that's one of the reasons why he decided that he wasn't going to go after this Secret Service administrator and ask her to resign. But, when things don't go the way that they should, it's time for them to resign. And you have a number of different congressmen and people questioning and asking about the oversight on what's been happening in this particular administration with their Secret Service. I can't in my wildest dreams understand how in the world they would overlook all of this stuff. You know, there was that shooting back in 2011, and they didn't even do a full-scale checkout after it was over with. Trey Gowdy was asking about that yesterday, and then, you know, the thing about asking about the guy who got in the elevator that had the gun. You know, why was not everybody that got on that elevator should have had credentials or not invited in?
You know,
I just can't believe it.
Rita, I have been in many circumstances with my other occupation as a professional announcer to go around the United States and, for that matter, the world, over to Spain and other locations to be around tight security. One of the tightest security measures I have ever witnessed personally firsthand took place in 1996 when I was announcing the Olympics in Atlanta, Georgia. And I saw firsthand, after the bomb went off in the park in Atlanta, firsthand I saw a stage 1 type security to where you couldn't turn around, you couldn't go anywhere, you had to have all the information on you, you had to wear one of the badges around your neck. I mean, they were checking and scanning everything. It was heightened security to make sure the Olympics went off without a hitch. How do you let the President of the United States get in a public elevator with someone already on the elevator that is carrying a gun, and they're a convicted felon, and the Secret Service just basically opens the door and lets the President in?
Well, that's what just really bothers me, is that there was that there, and that was really blatant. I don't know, maybe they want something to happen to him, I don't know, but you got to have security at the very highest levels, and it starts right there with him and his family. For someone to get into the White House, and then that, like I said, that shooting that was in 2011, they didn't even investigate that. I mean, how do they know that there was nothing to worry about?
I just absolutely, when you look at all the facets here, we're talking about the Secret Service with Julie Pearson as the director, and Ron Keller, author that has been on my program 4 times, and you've seen him on Hannity, you've seen him on O'Reilly, he's on all the big news shows. He said on my program, and I looked it up this morning early, 2 months ago, when he was on my program, he said that the Secret Service was lacking for good people to do a good job in protecting the president. And yesterday it came to fruition.
Well, boy, that's absolutely true. And the other thing is, generally, those Secret Service people are just the very top elite people. And I think that it's been so relaxed that it's kind of like, oh, well, this doesn't matter. And I'm not so sure that they weren't, some of the ones handpicked weren't the ones that were the elite ones. You know, the part that really goes back on me is starting when President Obama was very first elected. And it was on Labor Day weekend when he was going to probably Wisconsin or someplace to speak to one of the big labor groups. And as he was getting off of the plane, he had his shirt unbuttoned. He didn't have his tie on. He had his white shirt unbuttoned. And the part that really, really just bothered me to no end, and that's why I remember it so vividly, is that there was 2 or 3 Secret Service people that were with him, and their shirts were undone and
That's right.
no ties.
Yeah, I remember that.
And I just was thinking, oh my gosh, they've relaxed the standards so much that they aren't even looking like their leadership or anything. And I thought, you know, it made me wonder if he said, I'm not going to wear a tie. I don't want you guys to wear a tie because you'll make me look like I'm not, you know, leadership material. And so they all had to relax their standards. And so here we are several years later, and the standards are so relaxed that it's not even funny. And it's time to go through and do a thorough cleaning and get rid of the ones who have been in there and pull in some people that are the real elite people that will do a good job. In the past, we know there have been excellent people. Mark Levin on his radio show last night reminded us that there was a Secret Service guy that took a bullet for rape.
That's right.
And they're always willing to do that. And so there needs to be some really good ones out there with high standards and people who are not going to spend time in the in the bars and the whorehouses and doing the cocaine and all that kind of stuff, they have got to be on their job just 24/7, doing absolute best to make sure that we're secure.
Yeah, but Rita, there you summed it up very succinctly. This administration, so amateur, so inept, and so absolutely brazen against doing things the way they should be done. Let's talk a little bit about the new poll that came out, and I was shocked when I saw the numbers in this poll. 74% of Americans polled said that Obama definitely is not tough enough on Muslims and their extremism. 74%, 3/4 of the American public is stepping forward now, according to this poll, and saying that this man is absolutely not doing the job to be tough enough against what's happening in the Middle East with ISIS and Muslims and extremism in general. That says a lot.
Well, it really does, and I think that our eyes were really, really opened with that deal that happened in Oklahoma last week. That was absolutely horrible, and you know what? I think it's only a small amount of what we're going to see happening, and it's going to happen right here, and we better get it under control and name it for what it is.
Yeah, but whoa, Rita, wait a minute. Now, there also lies another problem, because this administration, if you were listening yesterday to my dear friend, former CIA operative Brian Fairchild, he said, and it's coming out from all points of the media, this administration wants to make racial and also religious profiling basically illegal. So in other words, they can leave the Muslims alone and Islam alone, and they can just basically do what they want to do.
Well, that's one reason why the administration can't make laws. We have Congress and Senate, and they're supposed to do them, and hopefully those folks will get their heads on straight and say, you know what? You can't do this. That's taking away the rights, and we're going to call it what it is. I've heard a number of different avenues that the president has gone down in trying to make sure that there's nothing bad said about Islam and the terrorists and you know, you can't classify them all the same because they're not the same and everything. He just needs to stay out of that fight, keep his mouth shut, let the people do their job, and say, you know what, we are going to keep these terrorists from harming us because it's my job to keep this country safe.
I want to do a weather forecast, and when I come back, I want to have you comment about food. And speaking of food, by the way, Rita, I know that you're not here at the studio, but I had some wonderful friends bring by a delicious German chocolate cake. And just to tell you how certain people follow food like a magnet, my dear friend Jack Euler, all the way from Filer, just banged in through the door, and he's eating my cake right now as we speak. I just thought I'd mention that. We're going to have a weather forecast quickly, and it's brought to you by our dear friends at Lennox Home Comfort Systems through our dear friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Whether it's gas furnaces, air conditioners, heat pumps, you and your family will always enjoy the comfort. Don't forget 678-0459, the number at Ramsey Heating and Electric, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. And here now is Michael Rogers' weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers for Zeb at the Ranch. Sunny today. 71 for the high. We're going to start to get up into the 70s. By Sunday, you should be hitting 75 to the high. But other than that, a lot of clouds. I mean, a lot of sun, very little clouds, and it's still a nice weekend happening. So enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend, and enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Thank you, Michael Rogers. Brought to you by Lennox Home Comfort Systems through our friends at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. Rita, the other day, I had Kyle Olson on the program, and he's with EAGnews.org. And he was discussing many, and the numbers are increasing every day, school districts across the United States, regardless of the states, whether it's Illinois, whether it's Florida, whether it's Indiana, whether it's California, there are school districts that are just absolutely revolting against Mama Obama's nutrition program and saying blatantly the kids are not getting enough to eat and they won't eat what you're putting on their plates. What are your thoughts as a mom and a grandma about this mess that's going on thanks to the Obamas?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. As a mom and a grandma, I think that it's mom and grandma's responsibility to take care of our kids. It's not Mama Obama. And so what we need to do is send lunches with them, get a hold of the districts and say, you know what? We don't want your stuff. We'll bring our own, and we take care of our own. I had a couple of little girls in my office the other day selling those candy bars that they do for fundraisers, you know, and the little girls, the one said to the other, we used to be able to sell these candy bars at the schools, but Mrs. Obama said that we can't have candy bars in schools, so we can't even sell to the teachers, and they were some of the best buyers. And I said to him, I said, you know what, Mrs. Obama doesn't make the laws. You tell those teachers that you should be able to sell those candy bars at school if you want to.
You know, but really, what's scary about this whole situation right now is that he was telling us, Kyle was mentioning to us, that in certain schools, now they're bringing in food police, and they're checking the brown bags or the lunch boxes, and if it doesn't, quote-unquote, meet the standards that they feel the child should be eating, they're literally throwing the food away.
Well, that's absolutely right. And the part that's sad about that is that, first of all, they can't really do that. There is no law that says they can do it. And because somebody decided that there's too much carbohydrates or too much fat or not enough veggies or whatever it is, doesn't mean that that's the law. The law was not passed. It is not the law. Some people have taken it upon themselves to do their own thing and just start implementing these and pass the word down from the USDA that this is the way it's going to be. That is not a law that's been passed, and people need to start calling them out on it and saying, you know what, those laws haven't been passed and we aren't going to go by them. But they say, well, you know, it's going to cause us to not get our money from the USDA so that we can do the school lunches and this and that and the other. And this is just one more reason why we need to keep Washington out of our schools and let our local people who know how to do it best take care of it, and let the state send what they need to, and that's it, not having it come down from the feds through the state to the districts, and then everybody is bowing to the one further up. It's got to be local.
Yeah, but Rita, real quick, when you think about the wastage, you think about what they won't eat in the schools, and I've seen some of these school lunch menus, and I personally would not eat it. And you think about the throwing the food in the trash, and you multiply that times the cost of the food plus the wastage, and it's not being eaten, they'd all be, I think, financially and physically further ahead to go ahead and start serving these kids something they're going to eat.
That's absolutely right. And the thing of it is we've lost common sense. People are not using their common sense that they were blessed with from God, and it just drives you nuts.
Hey, you've got a gentleman coming in on the 9th, and I just had him on my program the other day, and we almost didn't catch him because of some bad phone connections in downtown Manhattan, New York, and he's going to be back on my program again, and that's Trevor Loudon. You want to talk about that?
Yes, we're going to have him come to our October 9th Tea Party meeting. It's going to be at the King's Fine Arts Center Little Theater, and it'll be at 7 o'clock. And basically, he tells you who those are that are tearing our country down, and he has done an immense study on the Congress and the Senate of America, and kind of showing their records and how they have become the enemy within. And they're trying to bring, a lot of those people are trying to bring communism into our country and just implement it further. This isn't anything new, but he has done a search and research, and that's what his book is about. And so he's going to be talking to us about that And it would behoove everybody to come and listen to this and find out what's really going on, because we don't know, who those people are if we aren't going to be informed about it.
Rita, what about tickets?
It's free.
Okay, free, and the starting time again?
7 p.m.
Okay. Now, Trevor, very, very well thought of individual in the media. As a matter of fact, he's been on Hannity, he's been on O'Reilly, been on my program 3 times, and he's going to be back again. And a lot of people, quickly answer this. I've only got a minute left. A lot of people are saying, well, gee whiz, yeah, but he's from New Zealand. What does he know about us? And the main point I want to stress, and he said it on my program the other day, if America falls and fails, we all fail.
Well, that's absolutely right, and that's why it's really good that there is somebody from the outside saying, hey, this is what you stood for before, and how come you're letting all these people, and this is what they're doing coming in. Somebody's got to ring the bell.
October 9th at the King Fine Arts Center, Little Theater, right?
Yes.
Okay, and starting time?
7 p.m.
All right. Rita, God bless you. Thanks. That half hour went way too fast. Have a great day, and I'll look forward to next Thursday.
Okay, you too, Zeb.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Rita Ramsey, and in the studio, I've only got a minute, and then I've got to do my starving to death. Get up close to that microphone. Another person, a homeless person, has staggered in here and is eating my birthday cake. Hello, homeless person. How are you?
I'm doing great. I just stopped by to wish you a happy anniversary.
No, it is my birthday. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Zeb.
Jack Euler, dear friend. And he wasn't in the house 30 seconds, and all of a sudden I see this great big piece of German chocolate cake being devoured. You are a human magnet when it comes to food. I wish Al Butler could have seen that.
German chocolate cake is my favorite.
Isn't that good cake?
That is terrific.
Oh, my. Stick around during the news. I'll visit with you. But right now, here's a segment that we should have named Jack Euler. It's If You're Hungry and Starving to Death. Here we go. And we would like to talk first and foremost about Taco Bandito. 2301 Overland in Burley. Don't forget they've got the pumpkin empanadas. Oh, they are so good. Have one of those pumpkin empanadas right after you have a southern baked burrito, either soft shell or grilled shell, chicken or steak. Oh, Kip knows how to make them delicious at Taco Bandito, 2301 Overland in Burley. Now, let's remember this. Burgers, etc. 124 South Oneida in Rupert and 700 North Overland in Burley. Soup is coming by Halloween. There is nothing better than a nice piping hot bowl of soup in the fall and the winter. I love it. And don't forget they got corn dogs and burritos for only 99 cents after 3 p.m. And that's 2 locations in Rupert and Burley of burgers, etc. Let's move on over to Steve-O's, and they're almost ready to close the patio because it's getting a little chilly outside, but they got a brand new entryway. Oh, I was over there the other day with Senator Dean Cameron and had a steak sandwich. Absolutely phenomenal. You're going to love the pork chops with salad and choice of potatoes. Friendly people, dedicated staff at Steve-O's, 290 South, 600 West Hayburn. Food made the way you like it. And let's not forget Duck Uglies. Boy, they named that after Jack. Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley, right next to Berry Equipment and Rental. And you got to get in there and try the ribeye steak. Knock your Tony Llamas off delicious. Along with the New York steaks, the shrimp, and all the sandwiches. And Duck Uglies is kid and family friendly with a non-smoking environment. You're going to love it. Duck Uglies, 163 West Highway 30 in Burley. And last but not least, I'm drooling. I'm so hungry. The AC Drive-In, 601 East Main in Burley. Oh, my goodness sakes. They're known for their milkshakes. They can make any flavor that you like, and they were voted to have the best hamburger award for the Mini-Cash area. Oh, they've got the pumpkin shakes right now for the fall, and they're located at 601 East Main in Burley with the ranch burgers and the famous Farmer Brown burgers. Oh, you'd better stop in to the AC Drive-In in Burley. And those are just a few places to go if you're hungry and starving to death. Jack, real quick before we go to the news, A lot of things going on in the news, some worrisome things with the Ebola scare, the Secret Service scare. I mean, my goodness, it seems like the world's coming apart.
Zeb, I think this fiasco with our southern border is going to bite us in the butt, and it is very worrisome.
You know, Jack, what you just said right there, I compliment you for saying it. We don't know who came across the border. We don't know what they brought with them across the border. And there's another horrendous virus that has affected children from ages 3 all the way up to 17, and it's almost a paralytic type virus like polio, and it's already killed 3 children, and there's been literally hundreds more that have become sick from it. We don't know where this is coming from.
Well, that's exactly right. And you know, Rita was talking about regulations on food in schools. Well, there's regulations for people to be inoculated and have their shots and everything. This is not happening because of the people that are coming across our borders.
You know, it's so ludicrous to think that they've got rules and regulations that say thou shalt not attend the school unless you've had your vaccinations, but then they turn the blind eye and a deaf ear to the ones that don't.
That's right.
It's ridiculous.
And they give them a pass. They've given them a pass for many things.
Yes.
For years.
And I totally agree with you. Until we close that border, we're going to continue to see more of the repercussions of laziness and laxity of this government.
That's right.
I agree with you. Jack, stay with us during the news. I'll visit with you more, and by that time, it'll give you an opportunity to have another piece of cake. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a little break right now and go to the ABC News. I'll be back in 6. Don't go away.
Nope.
I'll tell you what, Gina, this has been a fun birthday. The door is just wearing out with all the nice people coming by to say happy birthday and everything. It's been special. Thank you very, very much. Zeb at the Ranch, and we're brought to you by our major sponsor, your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, all 7 locations, along with some of our great advertisers, and they include Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more at 459 Overland in Burley. We're going to be talking to them in just a moment. And also Ramsey Heating and Electric at 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley. And that's what I want to tell you about. They have the Lennox home comfort systems. Whether it's a gas furnace, air conditioner, or a heat pump, you and your family will always enjoy the comfort. All you have to do is give them a call. Find out more at 678-0459. Lennox Home Comfort Systems at Ramsey Heating and Electric, 2600 Overland Avenue in Burley, where they provide warm winters and cool summers. Let's go on the phone line right now and visit with some dear people over at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and more, and sign in, please.
Good morning, Zeb. All of us here at Lee's Furniture want to wish you a very happy birthday.
I tell you what, you don't want to send me a birthday cake with candles on it, because then you better make sure the Murtaugh Fire Department's there.
Call the fire department to put it out. Huh?
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great, and we want to welcome everyone into our Harvest of Savings sale. And we've got some great values throughout the store. Number one, Simmons Bedding is participating with us on a king for the price of a queen, or a queen for the price of a full sale. We have select models within the store, and you can come in, and regardless of what size of mattress, you can pay that lower price, and there's some terrific savings there. And we are having so many wonderful comments about our Simmons Beauty Rest line. You get up in the morning and you feel refreshed and recharged, and I hope you feel that way as well after you get up off your Simmons Beauty Rest.
You know, I got to be honest with you, that was the best thing we ever did. I was having a lot of trouble sleeping, and we got that great big foam mattress, and I'll tell you what, leave me alone. I want to sleep an extra hour every morning.
That's wonderful. You know, I have a great testimony. Not too often, but on occasion, we'll sell a bed, and someone, after a trial period of 2 or 3 weeks, will say, you know what, this just isn't quite the firmness, or it's a little softer than I had anticipated. That's not a problem at all. come back in. We'll help you determine what your needs are. We'll pick that bed up and take out a new one so that you're getting a good night's rest. We guarantee you a better night's rest.
Absolutely, and guarantee well taken. I have absolutely enjoyed it. And along with the mattresses, you also have rolls and rolls and rolls of carpet, don't you?
We do, and we just received in another shipment. We utilize our own, and then we've received another shipment of roll-ins and remnants. And you talk about a value. We, in fact, are amazed here ourselves. We have carpets that would run $25 and $30 a square yard, literally, on sale that you'll buy for two-thirds less than that. And they're good-sized pieces. You can cover a good-sized bedroom, a living room and hall, or otherwise. So there's a way to get a quality floor covering at a very reduced price. And the same is true with our vinyl department. We buy rolls of vinyl, special purchases, and try to help you get that very best quality at a reduced price, along with tile, hardwood, our laminate flooring, a great selection of floor covering.
And not only that, but you've got those power recliners, too. Have you still got a pretty good supply?
We do, but they're dwindling. And again, that's a one-time buy. First come, first serve there. This is a great, comfortable chair. It's not a chair that's been slimmed down by way of comfort or upholstery or cushion. A comfortable chair, power recliner. You just power your footrest right up. Right now, why they last at $399. And then we also have participating with us all of our window covering companies. Hunter Douglas and Century, all those great companies. And so whether it's Roman shades, honeycomb shades, pleated shades, you can keep the cold out, keep the heat out, make life real comfortable for yourself with some great quality window coverings.
There he is, Brent Lee at Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More, enjoying the fall. As a matter of fact, he gets so thrilled with the fall, he just scotch tapes all funny-colored little leaves all over himself. He just loves it. We'll send everybody down, Brent. And by the way, if you get a chance, you ought to stop by and have some birthday cake before I eat it all.
Oh, that's a great invite. Thank you very much.
God bless you, my friend. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Lee's Furniture, Floors, and More at 459 Overland in Burley with a harvest of savings. Holy smokes, right now we're going to go to the telephone in just a moment. We're going to tell everybody about our next segment, School Days in Cassia County. And we're very, very blessed to have two wonderful sponsors for Cassia County School Days. And this morning we're going to be visiting with Debbie Critchfield, so stand by. Don't forget Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley. They've got 25% off the costumes for Halloween. And they've got new shoes arriving, and they've got holiday dresses arriving, along with hundreds of infant outfits. Oh, my goodness, you better get in there. And they've got baby registries, free gift wrapping, and layaway. All of this in a Child's World, and that's, of course, at 1308 Overland in Burley. And also a big, big thank you to our other sponsor, and that's the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Life-saving colonoscopies, and I stress these are very, very important and performed by outstanding surgeons at the Ambulatory Surgery Center. And don't forget, too, if you need ear tubes, tonsils removed, dental procedures needing anesthesia, all taken care of at the Ambulatory Surgery Center. And they're at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. The number to call, 677-8888. And right now, let's say good morning to the lovely, vivacious Debbie Critchfield.
And I'm going to tell you happy birthday.
Well, thank you very much. And if you're...
Add to the list of congratulations for another year on the planet.
Thank you. It's a good thing you didn't say something about a ticket to another planet. I appreciate that.
No. That's many years away.
You know, Debbie, God bless you for what you do. You've got a great voice. You've got a great personality. But, you know, after your appointment, tell everybody again, in case they don't know, what you were appointed to do for the state.
I was appointed to the State Board of Education. It is an 8-member board, and they oversee all of the policy guidelines or just anything related to policy, kindergarten through 20, I guess, is what they call our colleges and universities, if you continue on through that track.
I see.
So, yeah, I've got a few months under my belt. I certainly have a lot to learn. and I'm enjoying it, and it's a great time to be a part of education.
Let me ask you, do you have any fears or trepidations about all the travel and all the meetings and all the speaking engagements and everything?
Well, not until you put it like that, but no. I used to a little bit. Great training here in our own district on our local board, and I certainly, like I say, there's a lot to learn, but I'm looking forward to expanding what I know statewide and trying to do some good things for kids.
Absolutely. Now, you had sent me a memo that said something about a new website. What is going on?
Well, the website that our district had been using, and I couldn't even tell you for how long, I'm going to say a long time, 10 years-ish, was outdated, to say the least. And we live in a real digital society where folks, whether you like it or not, when you want to know the answer to a question, most of us pull out our phone or get on our computer and Google something or go to a business website. And that same kind of habits are no different with our schools. And we needed an update and a facelift, and we got one.
Now, when you say that, it's become more apparent to me that I need to get more involved in the social media. And I've had people already tell me, well, Zeb, your website, it's outdated. You've got to get in there and make sure it's updated and all this kind of stuff. And that's true with anybody. I mean, it changes literally every day, doesn't it?
It does. One of the features that we are most excited about, I guess, with the new website is a search bar. And I know that sounds like, well, who cares about that? But when folks go to a website and they kind of know what they're looking for, but maybe it doesn't stick right out or pop right out to them when they get to the home page, it's nice to be able to type in somewhere and get routed where you need to go.
Oh.
And again, that's a new feature.
Now, how literate, much more than I'm, as far as computers are concerned, but I mean, is it fairly easy to find the information and go through this?
Absolutely. Oh, it's very easy. And where we have a one-stop shop, so to speak, with the district page, so you log on to CasualSchools.org, and it'll take you to the district homepage, and then you can scroll down from a little link or a little tab that says Our Schools, and you can find the school that you want to go to. So if I, don't want to search out Burley High School or search out Declo Elementary, I can go to the district webpage and click right onto that school, and it'll take me exactly to that school site. And then I can get more detailed information that pertains to my child and their sports schedule. Our lunch menus are on there now. We have links that will take parents to the site where they can get their children's grades. Of course, the district calendar that will tell you events of what's coming up, whether it's testing or school's out early. Those sorts of things that really, when you look at the way I look at a school district calendar, it really directs the comings and goings of a family, and so those are some critical pieces of information.
Debbie, when you look at this school district that you're involved in with the Cassia County School District, and then you're on the State Board of Education, and I'm sure that you have conversations with people in other states, where do we rank? I mean, be very honest about this. How are we doing as far as being progressive here in the state of Idaho?
I feel like we are leading the way in a lot of ways. Budgetary constraints, I think, are going to be the strings that hold us down. And I'm hoping with the new legislative session that's coming up that they're going to find some more money to put in some of these areas. We're charting some new territory as far as how we want teachers to present material and how students have expectations and families have expectations of learning, and how do we prepare our students for the future. And you hate to put everything on money, but professional development for our teacher takes money and time, and bringing in some of the resources that we need, that takes money and time. And so as our state revenues start to pick up and catch up from where they have been, I'm hoping that we're just going to continue to go forward. And anyway, and the website, here's just a little example of a way that our district has identified what can we do better for our parents and for our students and for our teachers to take us to that next level.
But when you look at things in a fishbowl and you say, gee, I think we ought to do this, and gee, I think we ought to do that, it sounds to me by the tone of your voice whenever you're on this program that you're excited about what's going on because you see some drastic changes.
I am. And public school works. It really does. I don't know if there's pockets of bad experiences that, maybe a family or a student has with someone. But for the most part, our teachers are in there. They want to do the right thing. They're working hard to get themselves updated on what's current and try to engage our students. And at the end of the day, all of our teachers care that our students leave their classroom or leave the district prepared for the next level, whether it's a career or a university or anything in between.
Absolutely. We've got a caller with a question. Go ahead, caller, quickly, please.
Yeah, Zeb, why don't you ask this lady, if you would, since she's on this state board, about this problem we got with this lunch program.
Okay.
What's going on with it?
I will, and
it's not wanting to eat it.
I appreciate your call, Debbie. I don't hide anything or shelter anything on this program, and I personally, I'm not aiming at any one school district or any one school or any area. I'm just saying that in general, there are many, many school districts across the United States that have had enough with the Mama Obama nutrition program in the schools because the kids are not getting enough to eat. One size does not fit all. What's your take about the school lunch programs?
There's some issues, absolutely. And as you've identified, it is a federal mandate that has come down to the schools. It's quite a science project, and maybe this would be a great conversation for the full time. For next time, I'm not trying to skirt around the issue, but there's more to it than just, a minute's worth.
Right.
But what I will say is that our schools do the best that they can given the guidelines that they have for sodium, calories, fat. I just learned the other day that for a high school student, the guideline says they can have 2 ounces of dessert a week. 2 ounces.
Oh, my goodness.
So you try to fit that into what they're doing. My hat's off to the lunch ladies who work really hard to come up with a menu that will be filling as much as they can within the guidelines that they have. But yes, the federal government has gotten much more restrictive, and we are seeing more and more districts that are branching out and trying to do something different. I don't know where CAJA stacks up with that. Of course, it comes down to funding. We would lose that. No money from the district goes in to pay for our lunch program, and so how that would work into an overall budget plan, I don't know how that would work. But, yeah, we have some hungry kids.
Let's make sure that we do a program on that. And we have another call with a question quickly. I've only got a minute left. Fast, caller. Go ahead.
Yeah, Debbie, I think we need to put this bad water test situation that's going on again in Balda on that website so the parents know about that, and maybe we could get Galen and that bunch of guys to get something done out there, I think.
That's a really good question.
The district has been working, and it continues to work on long-term solutions for that. And here's another idea for a segment. We've had a countywide group of patrons that have worked on a committee for nearly 6 months, identifying how to solve some of these issues in each of our attendance zones. And the water issue is one that is at the top of the list for this group. And the long-term solution for that is going to be a new high school.
Debbie, I tell you what, there are 2 subjects. It looks like we've got our plate full for the next couple of weeks. I certainly want to say thank you. And to the callers, I want to say thank you for bringing up those points of interest. And is there anything else real quick? I am flat out of time.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. And you still can get here if you drive fast. There's still a little cake left.
I'll be there shortly.
All right. Thanks, Debbie. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Debbie Critchfield, Idaho State Board of Education member, and she does such a wonderful job on our program. Thank you so much. On School Days in Cassia County, brought to you by our friends at A Child's World, 1308 Overland in Burley, and the Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Holy smokes, we got to go to the telephone lines, and lo and behold, look who we have found. Let's see if Gina has the lovely Linda on the phone. Is she ready to go?
No, I do not yet. Give me a second.
No, I'll tell you what, that's fine. I'll go ahead and do a commercial quick. How's that? And she's going to be dialing her up, and I'm going to tell you all about a big sale that's going on at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds, and it's coming up this Saturday. It's Rogge Auctions Community Sale, their big fall sale at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds, starting at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. Oh, my goodness. I talked to Cade the other day, and he said they had such a ripping good sale in the spring. They're going to have another one in the fall. Man, you can't miss this. They're going to have vehicles and household goods and some farm equipment and guns, all of this and more. And they're going to take consignments right up through tomorrow night, Friday night. And the big sale starts at 11 a.m. on Saturday, October 4th at the Minidoka County Fairgrounds. You be there. Put on by Rogge Auctions. You can go to their website, RoggeAuctions.com. Going to be good. See you there Saturday. Let's check with Gina and see if she's got Linda.
Got her?
Ah, you do a great job. Thank you very much. The lovely Linda Peterson with A Child's World, and also being our spokesperson for Ambulatory Surgery Center. Linda, good morning. It's nice to have you on the air.
Zeb, it's nice to be with you on this great day. Thank you.
You know, you have done so much with The Child's World right there at 1308 Overland in Burley, and it truly is a family store. And I just got a note from you that says, my goodness sakes, you've got all kinds of goodies for the entire family. I mean, you've got suits for little boys, and you've got all the clothing for the little babies and everything. You're just really quite a store over there, aren't you?
Well, we try very hard, and we appreciate when people realize it's so important to shop locally. Yesterday, I got a phone call from someone asking if we carried the car seat stroller combinations in the Chico, which is the top safety brand. And she said, I was going to buy it in Salt Lake, but I wanted to shop locally, and we really appreciate that. I think anyone in your audience who's had experience with retail knows that we can't pay our employees, we can't update our stores, we can't do something with storefronts, we can't donate to the PTO unless local people support us. So we realize people who really try their very best to shop locally first.
You know, that point is so well taken with me. I mean, people look at the newspaper or whatever, and they'll see or hear about an advertisement to where they might save $1 or $1.50 or $2 on an item, and they'll drive 35 or 40 miles to go get it, and they could save money locally and support their local merchants. I stand behind everything you just said.
Thank you. Well, also, I mean, we really try to compete, and our markups, I try to keep them really, just as small as we can to cover our costs. Like, you can get a great baby outfit for $22, 5-piece baby outfit. It's, gift wrap free, and you come in and it's quality, and we stand behind our merchandise. So we have baby registries, too. We have layaways as people think about Christmas coming or new babies coming. So we just appreciate whenever people visit our store.
Linda, quickly, also, our thanks go to the Ambulatory Surgery Center. And for those in the audience that are unaware of what they do and how they do it, give us a quick synopsis, would you please?
I sure would. Surgery centers are a wonderful addition to any community because there's outpatient procedures that can be done and literally save people thousands of dollars. Hospitals are so vital if you're getting a total joint or you have an emergency, but surgery centers, they get paid lots less by insurance, but they can just save people such a large amount of money. And our surgery center in Burley has gotten top reviews. It's professional care for, I think it's been there 14 years. Colonoscopies, life-saving procedures like that are performed. If you were in an accident and you need some stitches or something, call up. We have an X-ray machine. We have 2 surgery rooms here in Burley. It's a wonderful way to get homey, friendly. It's not frightening there. The people give you such good care. And it's just a wonderful service that we have in our community.
Absolutely. And the number over there at the Ambulatory Surgery Center is 677-8888. No excuse to forget that number. It's an easy one. Child's World and Ambulatory Surgery Center, two great sponsors for Cassia County School Days. And real quick, Linda, you've been a big supporter of education in Cassia County. And boy, I tell you, with Linda, I should say with Debbie Crisfield just being on the air, and she's on the State Board of Education, there's a lot of pride over in Cassia County for everything that's going on.
Well, we care very much about education, and I think one of the things that concerns me very much, and you know I've been involved in child care issues for a long, long time because I care so much about children. We have a lot of little folks who are coming to school. It looks like they haven't had a bath in a while. Nobody's combed their hair. Nobody really has. I wonder for 5 years what they've been doing at home because they don't know letters or colors, so many things. And I encourage people to just do your best for these little people and care about them so that they have food in their tummies and their clothes are clean and they have a clean bed to sleep in and get the rest they need at night. Because more and more we see children less prepared and in some not very pleasant circumstances. So I hope as a community we do our best to encourage people to be good parents.
Well said. God bless you. Linda Peterson with A Child's World at 1308 Overland in Burley, and also speaking for Ambulatory Surgery Center at 1344 Highland Avenue in Burley. Linda, God bless, and thanks for coming on the program this morning.
Thanks for the opportunity, Zeb. Have a good weekend.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Very nice lady right there. And holy smokes, I've got to jump over to the main studios right now, and we'll be back in about 3 minutes.
And now back to Zeb at the Ranch on AM 1230 KBAR. To reach Zeb, call 436-2244 or toll free 1-866-927-4587. And now, here is Zeb.
Oh, my goodness sakes. We better get right into it. And I'm really looking forward to the conversation with this gentleman. He's been a good friend of this program for a long, long time, and I have the utmost respect for his abilities as a senator for the state of Idaho, and that's Mr. Dean Cameron. Good morning, Dean. How are you?
Good morning, Zeb, and happy birthday to you. I would sing to you, but I would do damage to your program.
Dean, I appreciate the well wishes. Thank you so much. You're very kind. It's been a great day so far, and I really appreciate everything everybody's done. Dean, to start things off this morning, we are a month, literally, away from the midterm elections, and I'm getting concerned. I'm sorry, but I'm getting a little nervous. I know I worry on behalf of what I do here at this radio program, etc. I don't see the interest. I'm not listening to people talk about it, but yet these midterms, in my humble opinion, are going to be extremely important, and I hope we get better than a 25 to 27% turnout.
Well, I hope so, too. We have a number of statewide elections that are important, and, of course, at the federal level, we have tremendous need to turn over the Senate and make it controlled by the Republican Party, in my opinion. The future of our country, I think, is hanging closer and closer by a thread. And we need to be able to have the right kind of people back in D.C., and we need to have the right kind of people at the State House.
Let me ask you this, Dean. As a state senator, of course, people say, well, a state senator or a state congressman, etc. No, you've got a pulse on what's going on all across the nation and, for that matter, the world. And we're looking at an ideology that literally came into power in 2008. And this ideology, I think, is absolutely like a cheap suit. The threads are starting to come apart with energy. The threads are coming apart on our economy. The threads are coming apart on our future jobs, our national security. I mean, my goodness, look at all that's been rent asunder since Obama's taken over office.
Well, it's a little bit ironic to me, and I know that not all of your listeners were Romney fans, and I was. But as I watched that campaign very closely, he made a number of predictions that Obama scoffed at, made fun of, and even the media made fun of, and every single one of them has come to fruition, from Russia to the economy to you name it. Now, obviously, I'm like every other citizen. Although I'm a state senator, and I'm certainly heavily involved at the state level, I watch with those glasses on as a state senator, but then I also watch as a normal citizen. And the dilemma, I'm not even sure what the right word is, the despair that our country is in. Our economy is improving slightly, but almost despite everything that's gone on in Washington. And the only thing that's happened there is that Washington is backed off somewhat, not completely. EPA is still out there, but they've backed up somewhat on business. But nonetheless, we're just in a very dire situation, and if something's not done, we will be in trouble real soon.
Dean, that leads me right up to the governor's race in the state of Idaho. I am extremely concerned about Mr. Bujak and Mr. Balikoff and, of course, our reigning governor, Butch Otter, and this race for the gubernatorial nod again. What are your thoughts about this race, and any negatives or pros that you want to discuss this morning?
Well, it's certainly a tough race, and I know that for some people, they may look at it and say, well, Butch has been there for 2 terms. Why does he need a 3rd term? Frankly, we need a 3rd term to finish business that has been started. He needs a 3rd term in order to keep Idaho on the right track. And in spite of the criticism that he receives and that we receive at times, Idaho basically has been on the right track. We are one of a very few number of states that has had a balanced budget every year, and in fact, there's only 5 states, I believe, that can say that, and 4 out of the 5 are oil states or energy states. Idaho is one that isn't, and that's in large part due to the work that Maxine and I have played on the budget committee, but also the leadership and the governor. Even when we have disagreed with him, he's been willing to work and compromise with us to where we could make it work because he wants a balanced budget as well. I can't say that about the other 2 candidates. They may be fine individuals and they may be good people. The problem is in a governor's situation, they're going to have to be responsive to the people that got them elected. And so that means they're going to be responsive to people that have different ideology than what you and I have. And so that's are there others that could serve as governor? Certainly. Mr. Bujak has got a checkered history in his past, and I'd certainly not encourage anybody to vote for him. Mr. Balikoff is maybe a fine person. But when I look at things that are important to me, like protecting Idaho's water, like protecting Idaho's natural resources, like education, I see those all being able to be better protected, better served by Butch Otter than any of the other candidates.
Absolutely. Now, I also want to get into Obamacare. I just was handed this morning some press releases that come from some of the media think tanks back on the East Coast, and here's one with a headline that just absolutely astounded me, and it said tens of thousands more Obamacare cancellations are going to pile up over the next month. It looks like little by little, inch by inch, foot by foot, Obamacare is just literally falling apart. What's going on?
Well, I don't know that I would say it's falling apart. I wish it'd fall apart. I wish it'd get repealed or changed. I will say that there are some people in our communities that the changes in the law have benefited. There are some people that because they had health conditions in the past, they were being rated higher because of those health conditions, and now under the current law, they aren't being rated higher. Of course, that means that everybody else is paying more to cover those. Mm-hmm. I'm not seeing it from an agent perspective. I'm not seeing the cancelizations that we're hearing about in other states. And of course, Idaho is set to go with its own exchange. It supposedly will roll out November 1st. We're all a bit nervous until that actually happens, and we know I've never seen a technology project, no matter where it's done, I've never seen it come in under budget, on time, and without a glitch. So we know there'll be something that will occur there, and we just hope it won't be insurmountable. It won't be as bad as what we saw with the federal government last year. And we're just trying to deal with it the best we can. It's, you know, one of the benefits to Idaho controlling its own destiny is we get to make our own decisions, and we get to make our own fixes. So if there is a problem, I get to call up somebody in Boise and say, hey, you got a problem here, you need to fix it, and here's a good suggestion on how to fix it. I don't have that ability when it comes to the exchange at D.C. I call up and they don't even want to talk to me. And you have to get permission of the client, and then they want to only give you permission for a month or 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I know not everybody agrees with me on it, and that's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. But I would just remind people again, that for the very same reasons we don't want the federal government dealing with our water, and the federal government dealing with wolves, and our federal government dealing with education. We want them out of our hair. It's the same reason we want them out of our hair when it comes to health care and health insurance.
Absolutely. Dean, you've been very straightforward and forthright on this program, and the last time you were on, we talked about the problems that need to be corrected within the Republican Party. And I have said, and you have said on this program, that there's got to be a healing. There's got to be a reaching out of the hands for, like, the Tea Party members and the Republican Party, and there's got to be a coming together. Because as we look at the ideology of what's going on now nationally with this administration, and like I'll use the terminology again, they're coming apart at the seams, whether it's national security or whatever the problem is with the Obama ideology. I don't want to see that perpetrated here in the state of Idaho any further. That's why I think there has to be some kind of a healing process to bring the Tea Party, the Republican Party, and even members within the Republican Party themselves together for a unified voice. What's going on to have that happen?
Well, there's efforts being made by all of the candidates, the governor, others. There's efforts being made by the current party chairman, the gentleman who got elected, who probably leans a little more towards the Tea Party. And so there are efforts to try and mitigate that. And I think we just all have to remember as Republicans, Ronald Reagan's old admonition, and you never speak ill of another Republican. That was one of his admonitions. And the other admonition is, a person who agrees with me 80% of the time is not my enemy. Well, in many cases, with many of us, we agree probably 90% of the time. It's on one or two issues that there's a strong disagreement. I would also say I don't have a problem with people disagreeing with me. And frankly, I don't have a problem with having a discussion when there are disagreements. That's honestly healthy, and it's certainly healthy in the legislative process. It's how some of the best laws are made, is when people stand up and say, wait a minute, this is a good idea, but if you do it this way, it's going to be a problem. And so we need that honest dialogue, but then at the end of the day, you don't take things personally. You don't go after people and call them names and try and demean their integrity. And at the end of the day, you're on the same team. You're all fighting for the same common good. And hopefully people will understand that. Unfortunately, I'm not sure, Zeb, until we have a new president, that will ever completely take place. Mm-hmm. Because I think actually the animosity and anger that comes from this presidency is amplified, and that's what generates the sort of the hate and discontent that's out there.
Let me ask you this question, and I touched on it a moment ago, but I'll ask it again as we're drawing to a close of this segment. You tell me, as a state senator, what more I can do or what more the media can do to instill in people a realization that they need to go vote. This is a privilege in a free society, and we need a much better turnout than 22, 24, 27%. This is a critical election, and I don't know what else to do to get people off dead center.
You know, I'm not sure I know either, other than continue doing what you're doing, continue to amplify the issues and talk about the issues. And there's probably another issue I need to touch on before we close, but we need to continue to do that and remind our friends and neighbors they got to go vote. And I know there will be times where people say, well, I'm not want to vote, I don't have anybody I want to vote for, or I don't have... it's still important. Even if the candidate isn't your first choice, your favorite choice, choose the candidate that you think will best protect you, your children, and your grandchildren, and then and the way of life that we have here in Idaho, and then move forward and get other people to go vote. One other issue real quickly that is important for people to go vote on is we have a constitutional amendment coming up.
Yes.
And just to touch on it real lightly, the legislature has had the authority for the past 20-some years in order to review all rules promulgated by any agency. So the legislature passes a law, if the governor signs the bill, the agency, DEQ, or Department of Agriculture or Water Resources promulgates a rule on how they're going to implement that law. The legislature has had the legal authority to review that rule and make sure that it falls within the feeling of Idaho and the feeling of when we pass that law. That's being challenged in other states, and so the constitutional amendment allows that to be placed in Constitution to make sure that there's a balance between the executive branch and the legislative branch. The legislative branch needs that ability needs to maintain that ability, and that is best to protect Idaho citizens.
You know,
that's why that's there, is to protect Idaho citizens. So we encourage people to get out and vote to protect their own well-being from any entity, whether it be, like I said, DEQ or Water Resources or Department of Labor or whomever, any of those entities, Department of Education. We get to review the Common Core rules and decide how to reject them or how to make them change or how to get rid of those portions that are objectionable.
Absolutely.
And that's how it's done.
Absolutely. Dean, I've got a caller with a question. I've got to get this in. Caller, go ahead real fast, please.
Yeah, if Dean would address on Medicare next year, some of them drop a couple of bucks, but it looks like the out-of-pocket on the copay is like double.
I'll have Dean. I'll have him answer that on the air. Dean, please go ahead and respond. I'm almost out of time.
So the federal government gets to make the adjustments in Medicare, and they're always forced with the situation of either raising rates or adjusting benefits, and they have done just what the caller said. And that would be an excellent question to bring up to Senator Risch or Senator Crapo or Congressman Simpson or Labrador and ask them, what's their stand on it, and obviously, in healthcare, the Democrats all want to point to Medicare as being a big success. It provides some benefits, but it actually is only paying about 60% of the bill for most people, and there's issues with it, like the caller mentioned.
Dean, I wish we had more time to discuss, and I'm going to have Fred on and Scott, and I want to get you back real quick and talk about this constitutional amendment, because I just think if you were to make one sentence that you want people to remember about this constitutional amendment, what would it be so that they can keep thinking about that?
Well, boy, that's a good question, and I need to format it in one sentence. But I think most of all, the ability for the legislature is tied to its ability to review these rules, and the legislature's ability to protect citizens from bureaucracy is tied to the ability for the legislature to review those rules. So I know that's more than one sentence, but maybe I'm getting there. We'll figure out how to get there.
No, I thought it was very well stated, but I think what we need to do is, and I know Fred's going to be on next week, and then I'll have Scott, and I want to get you back too. We need to amplify this quite a bit more before November 4th.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, we've talked about it. We want to start running some ads, and we'd love to be on and talk about it, and because it's not being talked about, and you know, our fear is that our citizens will go in and say, "What? There's a constitutional amendment. Nobody said anything about this," and so we're hopeful that people will look at it and they will vote yes to amend the Constitution in order to protect them from bureaucracy.
Absolutely. You know, my highest respect and regard to you for all that you do. And by the way, I love your pens. I love the way they write. I want to get another one. Senator
You can have one.
All right. State Senator Dean Cameron, God bless you and thanks for being on the program this morning.
Have a great day. Hope you get to eat lots of German chocolate cake.
I will.
Not everybody eats it up for you, and I hope you get a good dinner. I know Deanne will cook you something great.
All right, Dean, thank you so much. God bless you. I appreciate it. Great guy, and I appreciate his time this morning. State Senator Dean Cameron on the program with us this morning. Caller, I'll be with you in a minute. I got to get a weather forecast in here real fast. Brought to you by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. Don't forget, you've got to try one of their marinated tri-tips. Oh, it is delicious, and they guarantee everything they sell. Selling taste one bite at a time. Scarrows Meats over in Jerome. Here now, Michael Rogers weather.
Hello, everyone. Michael Rogers for Zeb at the Ranch. Sunny today. 68 to 71 for the high. We're going to start to get up into the 70s. By Sunday, you should be hitting 75 for the high. But other than that, a lot of clouds. I mean, a lot of sun, very little clouds, and it's still a nice weekend happening. So enjoy the day, enjoy the weekend, and enjoy the weather. It's the only weather you got.
Thank you very much, Michael Rogers, weather.com. Brought to you this hour by Scarrows Meats, 331 North Road, Jerome. The number to call, 324-7657. They are selling taste one bite at a time. Caller, I've got a minute, and that's it. Real fast, please.
Happy B-Day to you. Happy B-Day to you. Happy B-Day. Happy B-Day. Happy B-Day to you.
Who is this?
This is Sharon.
Oh, that was great, Sharon. Honestly, I didn't recognize your voice. Thank you so much. That was very nice of you this morning.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got the call in, you know, and I'm glad that everybody got the message last week.
Well, thank you very much, Sharon. God bless you, and I hope that your birthday's as happy as the one I'm having.
I'm sure it was.
All right. Thanks, Sharon.
Have a great rest of the day.
All right, thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, and may you have as many more as you wish.
Oh, Dale.
As young a pup as you are, that should be a lot of.
You know, you and your lovely bride are just some very, very dear friends. Thank you very much for your song. Thank you for your thoughts, and we'll look forward to next week. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
God bless you. Thank you. For all the people that have sent birthday wishes, thank you very, very much. Hey, by the way, I want to remind you, too, about a big tire sale going on at your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. All the tires are on sale, like the Ultra Z900, the Eclipse, the Wildcat AT2, the Open Country AT2. My goodness, all the tires, all the tread designs for your type of driving. So stop in and see them today. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers, with, of course, the best in brake service and front-end alignments and shocks and struts and batteries. They come at a high lope out there to serve you, and service is the key word. Stop in and see Lane and Rupert, of course, Dave on Blue Lakes and Twin, Mike and Buell, Mike and Jerome, the Twist family in Paul, John on Poline in Twin Falls, and Randy on Overland and Burley. Your Magic Valley Les Schwab Tire Centers. I got about 30 seconds left. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Zeb, and happy birthday. And remember, you're not getting older, your kids are. Happy birthday.
Thank you. God bless you. That was really nice. To everybody that stopped by and everybody that called, thank you for making my birthday very special. I really appreciate it. And a special thanks to a lovely lady that I live with, my beautiful wife, Deanne. Thanks for everything this morning, Deanne. I appreciate it. Gina, thank you for all you do over at the main studios. And we're going to take off and have a big weekend. I hope you enjoy your weekend. And we'll saddle the horse and ride again next Monday at 8:06. Zeb at the Ranch for 3 hours, 8 to 11, right here on K-Bar 1230, and then streaming live on the net, ZebBell.com. The way things were, or the way things ought to be. Have a good one.